Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It is December the 13th, 2018. It's a Thursday. It's another Technical Alpha podcast. Sorry about that false start. For those in the RSS feeds, means nothing to you.
Nah.
We got you.
We
But
got
for
you.
everyone else, get fucked. Windows update hit Mr. Black's computer and completely reset all of his audio settings. And so we had to mess with some stuff before we went live. And I thought that
We thought we caught it all, but we didn't.
OBS was catching it all, but apparently not.
Nah.
But we're here. We figured it out. It's time to go. Mr. Black, once again, how was your week?
Better than last week.
Up is good.
Up is good. I've never
and
seen.
so is the movie.
I've never seen the movie Up. I don't really watch animation movies.
It's a good one for that TV. Shows off all the colors.
Great. No, it's been good. I've been crushing the voiceover stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Probably a lot of people don't know because I haven't really talked about it, except for people on the stream.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been doing. Adam got into some VO stuff. He's starting out. Well,
I haven't really done.
You haven't
too
really
much.
got. Yeah, but you now got the setup.
Now we get the setup. Now I just got to stop building computers for other people.
Yes, and get started.
And I can actually get started.
Yeah. So like 3 months ago, it was like in July, late July, I started doing some voiceover stuff. It's actually, I went to Las Vegas back in, I do believe it was May, and Mr. Miyagi, who's a community member, he was there, and he said, Jeff, man, like, have you ever thought about doing any voice acting? And I was like, not overly, except for like the old RPG Maker stuff that I was doing and shit. Like, I've always done
semen.
sounds and things like that. And then he said, let me call my buddy from Hollywood and get you on and see if I can get you on one of his shows. So
That's such an American-ass thing to say.
Straight up.
Just let me call my buddy in Hollywood.
So he straight up calls his buddy Brian in Hollywood, who is the director of the celebrity puppet show on the Fuse TV network or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And they get me to co-star in episode 9 of season 2, where I play a guy named Clue. I think that's his name, Clue. And I have like,
As in Tron Clue?
no, there's like some rapper called Black Bear, and it's his best friend in real life.
Okay, all right.
So anyway,
okay.
I play him. I actually my puppet looks like Terry Crews. And so anyway, I have dreadlocks and shit. If you guys want to go and watch the episode, it's season 2 of the Celebrity Puppet Show, episode 9. And I pretty much like co-star in the episode. It was fun. I had my first taste of voice acting. It was directed. It was all that fun stuff. And, Brian was showering me with compliments. I don't know if all directors do that to like make sure your talent is like relaxed and feeling good and
Probably a bit
stuff.
anyway.
Yeah, it's like, but I felt like I was doing good, and he's like, you should keep this up. And so I said, okay, fine, whatever. And that was when I got the voice acting lessons, and did several weeks of that. And then I said, you know what, I'm gonna just start auditioning. And then I got my first gig, and then one gig turned into 3, turned into 5. And then I just had a really big gig with MasterCard.
Yes.
And they just told me this morning that I'm going back to the studio tomorrow morning
Let's go.
to shoot another one.
But Jeff, the real question is, when do you get to shoot a commercial for Cialis?
Oh,
That's the real.
I better happen soon.
That's where the big money is.
So it's been going good, and with that, Adam and I spent the last several hours here in talking about.
It was more just me trying to convince you of doing something.
There's these really cool vocal booths called whisper rooms. You can go ahead and Google them. I'm sure a lot of audio heads and things probably heard of it already, but in case you haven't, you can just Google whisper room, and it's the actual company name. It's basically a pre-built vocal booth that you can get that has great sound insulation. It looks phenomenal. It's got an air ventilation system in there. But the problem is, number 2, it's very expensive, and it's an American company, so getting it to Canada is even more expensive. I guess for like an American, it makes a little bit more sense because it's still really expensive. But you're not like paying border fees and having to, there's a lot more extra cost to get it over here. And our Canadian dollar is ass. It's just absolute ass. So pretty much we're looking at about $13,000 is what this thing would cost me. And
That's
Adam,
if you can talk him down.
that's if I can talk him down, which I think I probably can. And that's just one company. There's multiple companies that make these, and they're all relatively around the same price. It's not a cheap thing. But then Adam was like, you can do it yourself, and we sat there and we measured some parts of where we were going to put it and stuff, and he's making a lot of sense. He's making a whole lot of sense, and it's just hard for me to want to pull the trigger and spend, upwards of $13,000 for a vocal booth. But if I want to get really serious with this, I do need something to some degree. To what I'm doing it right now is fine, but it's not like I need one tomorrow. But
No.
if I'm doing really well with this shit, and I really want to take it to the next level. So
Yes.
that's what we were talking about. So that was that. So that's sort of my dilemma. I'll keep you guys updated. I'll probably know by next Thursday if I've gone down. If I've just taken the trip to ass fuckingville, or I'm gonna build a custom one down here that doesn't look as fancy and cool, but it'll probably do the same, if not even more sound treatment, just because you have even more control and a little bit more space.
Yeah, first of all, I'm just every week I am blown away at how fucking loud you are on these microphones. I have you turned down again. Every week I've been turning you down slightly more, and it looks like it does absolutely nothing. Like, absolutely nothing.
It doesn't even sound like I'm talking loud.
Which is why I'm confused. Like, if you look at me, I'm talking pretty fucking loud right now, and then if you go back in the waveform later, like, you are maxing the shit out.
That's how I roll.
So I don't know how.
You know what? I'm going to purposely tile it down. There we go.
Tile it down.
Tile it down.
Tile it down. Tile, floor to ceiling tile.
Yeah, that's right. I'm just going to, this is how I'm going to talk.
Well, you don't need to be that low.
Okay.
But I don't know how, I don't know. It might be how your voice is and how your compressor's hitting it.
I think it's my voice.
It's crazy. Anyway, so yeah, we spent a couple hours.
Yes.
And by that I mean it was me trying to convince Jeff for a couple hours not to spend this much money on a box with some felt glued to the outside of it.
Yes.
Which, look, Jeff might be out for that collab. I'm gonna be real with you right now. For me personally, Whisper Room is taking people to the cleaners so hard. It hurts me.
I'm not even disagreeing.
On a level that I didn't think fucking possible. I mean, the fact that you're going to get like some fiberboard with some felt shit and some fucking like not even mid-grade sound dampening foam that they give you like X number of strips to put at your will around your booth for a 4x6 box to cost 13 to 16,000 Canadian dollars is.
I know, it's insane. I'm totally. Adam has already convinced me it's crazy.
I can't.
And I know it's crazy. It's just so sexy. Y'all just need to go on Google and just Google this shit. It looks fire. They are so fucking fire, well built. They better be for that price. But anyway, it's a dilemma. It's a dilemma.
It is a dilemma.
It's a dilemma.
It's a dilemma.
I'll keep you guys updated.
Yeah, we'll see how that unfolds. But for anyone looking to get into vocal stuff, I just want to shout out. This is at Adam. Come to you right now. Take the small amount of time it would take you to learn some minor carpentry skills, and I mean minor, and just build the fucking thing yourself. Save my soul from hurting. It'll be like the Force, like a disturbance in the Force. Every time somebody buys a Whisper Room for $16,000, my heart just goes because if I really stretched it and did a DIY in Jeff's alcove, maybe $3,500 to $4,000. If I blew everything out and I charged like $2,000 in labor, maybe, and it would have more sound dampening than the Whisper Room, be bigger, taller, and a better door. So anyway, I can't get back into this. I'll be talking for another 2 hours. Whisper Room just swoondling people left, right, and fucking center.
Swoondle.
The swoondle is fucking strong.
Swoondle.
My week was okay. We got the tree up yesterday in terms of decorations. That got done. Decorated the house about 80% of the way there. Still have a couple, like I didn't get the outside decorations done because it's been 47 below zero, and I refuse to do it when it's 47 below zero.
I'm just not doing it.
That's also a valid option.
Yeah.
But we don't have a lot of outside stuff. It's just wrap a couple of things out front, plug them in, and that's the show. We're not doing like any kind of like fanatical stuff. So some of that to be done. And otherwise, that's been it. It's just been playing some games, which Jeff and I are going to talk about. We'll just go into it. I'm not going to we're going to tie it right into what we have for things on our list. Pokemon, let's go. Both of us played it.
Mm-hmm.
What was your take on Pokemon Let's Go? Because right now, it's a hot commodity on Twitch.
Oh, yeah.
It's a very hot commodity. What was your take on Pokemon Let's Go?
I like it. I think it's a fun little game to play and burn some time in. I'm gonna keep playing it once in a while. I think ultimately what's gonna happen is Kayla's gonna take it and she's just gonna play the shit out of it.
Yeah, she'll be the one.
Kayla loves it. The controls are not great for catching Pokemon if you're using the
motion control.
The motion control. It's just horrible. I mean, the idea of it is cool to be able to like kind of throw the ball and stuff. And when it works, it feels good.
Yeah.
But when it doesn't work, which is fairly often, it's when the
98% of the
Pokemon are
time.
moving from side to side and you got to like angle the stuff. It's pretty bad. But overall, it's one of the better Nintendo Switch games I've played. I'll be honest, like I liked the idea of just catching the Pokemon. But then after just catching them for hours and hours and hours, I kind of miss fighting the Pokemon and then catching them when they're weak. Because it really just turns into it turns into like the Pokemon Go, except that you have to start throwing the berries at them and weaken their ability to get caught, or you're just throwing great balls all over the place, and then you're realizing that you're wasting like 2 to 3 balls a go at a rare Pokemon because of the motion capture shit, assuming that you're not using with the gamepad itself, which makes it a lot easier. But if you want to stream it, you have to use...
Or if you just want to play it on a TV.
Or if you just want to play it on a TV. If you want to have it in console mode, you have to pretty much use the motion capture stuff, and it's not great. So, for a Pokemon game, I think it's the best Pokemon game we've had maybe ever in terms of, like, not only graphics, but keeping that nostalgia feel to it. It's basically a remake of Yellow. It might be the best Pokemon game ever if you do not count the fact that you can't fight the Pokemon. I think if you could fight the Pokemon, or at least had the option, like maybe even 2 different story modes where you can play it the traditional way and fight them and then catch them, or just collect them, kind of like a Pokemon Snap or Pokemon Go or whatever. I think that would really take it over the top. But the motion capture shit, that's the dampening part. I'd give it an 8 out of 10 for a Pokemon game. If the motion capture was bang on and you could fight the Pokemon, or at least had an option, it'd be a 10 out of 10 for a Pokemon game. And to some, probably still think it's a 10 out of 10 now. It's a great game. It's a good game. It's just an annoying game at times. If especially when you're wanting to collect shinies and it's all about keeping the combo going and shit like that. Like, if you just want to play casually and you're fucking around, then maybe you can deal with a bad motion once in a while. That's fine. But if you're like gung-hoing for collecting them all and you want some shinies, there is no room for error. And the last thing you don't want is error because of how badly designed it is. It's one thing for you to mess up and screw up that. That's part of the game. But it's a whole nother when the motion stuff is garbage. So that's my quick rundown.
Yeah, that was kind of my feelings about it. Was that the game is good. It's definitely you can kind of tell they're going for the bridge between the Pokemon Go style and the classic Pokemon deal. And I think this is, from a graphical perspective, and to some degree mechanically, what we're going to expect in the next mainline Pokemon game that's coming out in another year or so. I think we're going to get a lot of the same stuff. I think you're going to get back to playing where you're actually catching Pokemon traditionally, where you're fighting them, but it's going to look the same. I think graphically it's going to be this way. And I think that they might even still keep the motion controls for throwing the ball, but I think you're going to go back to being able to fight all the Pokemon. I can't see them in the mainline series maintaining this Pokemon Go style experience gain where you're just catching Pokemon to gain experience.
It's gonna get old too. Like people
yeah.
are just gonna be like,
Because like what you said at first, it was like, yeah, this is nice. It's kind of a nice break from having to fight every single time, and then you start missing being able to do it.
Yeah.
Because you don't realize in the early game just how much catching you have to do to level your Pokemon as the game progresses. And once you figure that out, that's actually pretty substantial.
It's a grind.
Then it becomes
a monotonous grind.
A little
on
too
top
monotonous.
Of that. Yeah.
And then to make matters worse, the motion controls are just absolutely trash.
Mm-hmm.
The main problem, after all the time I spent on it, and I did some shiny hunting and stuff, so I caught a fair amount of Pokemon, and I fought with the controls a lot. I had a video I put up yesterday, my first video on YouTube in 10 months.
Let's go.
One in 10 months. Good ratio.
It's a good ratio.
I'm sure.
How's that YouTube paycheck?
Oh, it's fire.
Fat? It's fat, huh?
Fat paycheck.
Woo.
5 cents. So, like I put it up because it was a montage of all the ways I tried to throw the Pokeball, to get it to figure out, not only just to catch the Pokemon, but to figure out
the sweet spot.
Well, what the game wanted me to do so that the ball would go in the direction that I was trying to make it go with the motion controls. Because for the longest time, and still to this day, I don't know what the sequence is that you're supposed to do in order to get the ball to go left or right. Like, like you said, as soon as the Pokemon are moving or they're not on center, it becomes a nightmare.
Yes.
So I tried it where I'd point it at the screen, press ready, and then choose where to throw. I tried pointing off left or right if they were left or right, then clicking ready and throwing at them. I tried I tried just about everything I could. I tried the reverse of those things. I tried throwing different weights, different how hard I was throwing it. And then it got to the point where I couldn't figure, nothing made sense. I tried 1,000 different things. Nothing was working. And I gave up and I started throwing them backwards over my head. And I was catching Pokemon backwards. Just turning around and just whipping it over my head. Not even looking at the screen. Catching Pokemon. But if I was standing in front of me and I was throwing it.
You weren't catching the Pokemon.
And you weren't catching shit. Yeah. I could throw it the same way 5 times. And it could be an instance where the Pokemon's right in front of me. I could throw it the same way 5 times. And it wouldn't be the same result every time. Sometimes the ball would dribble out like you didn't even throw it hard. Sometimes it would fucking moon way over. Sometimes it would literally go almost to the polar opposite side of the screen, left or right, just for no fucking reason. And even on a fully charged controller and with the console only about 3 feet from where I was, sometimes I'd throw and there'd be 300 milliseconds between me throwing and the Pokeball actually launching. So when you're trying to time the ring, you throw it and 300 milliseconds go by. Ring ain't even fucking close.
You got to use some serious math.
Now you're doing now you're fucking what's his name in Hangover doing all this math in your head going doing some crazy trigonometry trying to figure it out and they're timing it. It's bad, really really fucking bad, and it's unfortunate because there's no reason for it. Because like you said, in handheld mode, you can use the analog stick and the A button to do the throw. But you can't choose to do that in docked. Why they didn't have a menu option in docked mode to just say, I don't feel like getting tennis elbow today. Because 50% of this game is throwing to catch Pokemon to get levels. You do a lot of throwing Pokeballs.
Yep.
And that's especially the case if you miss them or you have to throw multiple because they kick out. You could be throwing 3 to 5 Pokeballs a rip. You're throwing hundreds of these bad boys. You're out there fucking just your arm is going to be dead.
You're getting a workout.
Your elbow get fucked up and shit because everyone's just throwing 1,000 Pokeballs. I don't care how good a shape you are. You do this for fucking 3 hours. shit gets real. My biggest concern with it though, what really bothered me with it is that it doesn't tell you what it expects from you to get the ball to go where you want it to go.
Yeah, there's not that.
There's no tutorial.
Yeah, and there's not even a bar in a golf game that shows you how hard
It doesn't show how hard you're throwing.
Yeah, it doesn't. There's not some meter that's the sweet spot or or how there's nothing.
It tells you nothing of what it expects of you.
No, it's just like throw it.
And because of that, I mean, if you put, I mean, they even have that Pokeball controller that you can buy specifically for this game, right? If you tell somebody there's a Pokemon game where in battle it's motion controls, you get to throw the Pokeball to catch the Pokemon. That sounds pretty dope. Makes sense because you get to go through the whole, you know, whatever. How do you think people are going when they pick this up? What do you think people are going to do? They're going to press ready and they're going to throw it like a ball. Nobody's going to sit there and like just use like little fucking wristy movements.
It's like fishing. Just
because why would you even have why would you even have motion controls if this is all you want? I want to throw the ball left. I want to throw the ball right.
That's it.
Why even have motion controls at that point? It's fucking useless.
Because it's cool, Adam.
Now, if you have motion control and you have this super fancy fucking thing where you can feel all the ice cubes inside the, remember that shit from the E3? You can find 3 ice cubes and they're jingling around. That's how advanced these controllers. And you throw, and it goes fucking off the left field somewhere. And then you throw again, and then it just like dribbles out like a fucking old man with a friggin' prostate problem, and just like it's. Then people go, well, what do you want me to do? You don't want me to throw it like a ball.
So Adam, you're saying you don't like the motion capture?
The motion control is garbage.
Yes.
Absolute dirt shit.
Yes.
Dog shit, awful. It's objective. This is not a subjective thing.
No, we're with you. I'm with
bad.
you. I think a lot of people will agree.
Absolutely fucking terrible. Can you work around it? Yes.
Sure.
Does that mean it's acceptable?
No.
Hell no.
No.
And I would be way more forgiving if in dock mode you could just choose to use the controls normally. And why that isn't there is just another one of those Japan developers, what the fuck, just get your shit together. So Pokemon Let's Go. I actually think it's a good game. Motion controls, which unfortunately make up about 50% of that game, are bad. So I'm going to give that game a 6 out of 10. If you play in dock mode, I'll give it an 8.5 if you're in handheld. It goes way
Seems
up.
fair.
It goes way up if
Seems
you don't
fair.
have to fight with the fucking motion controls.
Seems fair.
Smash Bros. You had an interesting run-in with that this week. I haven't personally played it. I've watched some people play it. What was your experience playing the most comprehensive Smash Bros. Game of all time?
All right. So, gameplay-wise, graphic-wise, mechanically, it's the best Smash Bros. Ever made. Period. It's I've played.
Animation looks so good.
It's phenomenal.
Yeah.
Okay. For Smash Bros. Lovers out there, this is the one to buy. Plain and simple. All right. I'm giving it a 10 out of 10 for the gameplay. All right. Now, the game overall, if you had to take everything into consideration,
all of the facets.
We're talking game mode, everything.
Yes.
Okay. Here's the problem, and if I had to give it a 10 now, it's a 5.
Oh,
it's a 5.
Oh,
all right.
Get him.
So if you're if you're about that LAN hype, and you're about that single player life, it's a 10. It's a 10. It's a smash.
Literally,
it's a 5. It's a 5 for everything else. Here's why.
All right.
Okay. 2 big things.
Okay.
Number 1, there is too many options in this game. There is so much content in this game, bro. I mean, we've talked about this.
There is such thing as too much,
dude. There's a lot, and then there's this. There is, and I mean that's great for those that just want endless content and shit. It's great. But there's menus on menus. There's game modes and game modes. There's this whole soul system and fucking upgrading levels, and you have to like go. I played this like not even the main story mode, but I played like the soul mode. It had a cool little video at the start where everything gets fucked up, everybody dies, and then you got to go and collect their souls, and then you can use them and shit like that. But there's this huge like upgrading thing, which this you could be in this mode for. Ever.
A while.
I mean,
it's a hot minute.
It's a hot minute, which is great to get your money's worth, but it's the controls are just bad, dude. Like the menus, even if I wanted to turn down the music, you have to be in certain menus in order to get to it, and you can't just change your controls on the fly. So if you're using the Switch joystick, like the Joy-Con, but you want to like switch it into like GameCube type controls that you use for a GameCube controller, you can make a very similar thing, but you can't just click start and do it. You have to like completely back out of everything and get sort of back into the main menus and then go in there and do it. And then if you want to test the controls, you can do that on the fly, but you only can do it with Mario. So like I play main Pikachu.
Yeah.
So just to get a real feel, like, you know, somebody would say, well, Jeff, the special is a special button. The attack is attack. Jump is jump. Like, why do you need to do it? It's just nice to be able to grab the Pokemon that you play or the character you play with and then try out the controls to see what feels intuitive and what doesn't, because different heroes or whatever you call them, they play differently than other ones. So, you know, you might even have different controls for different things. And then when you pick your hero, you have to save your profile. So then when you pick your hero, you have to then on that option go down and pick the profile with the controllers for that specific thing.
Okay.
So, you know, there's just a lot, and I know I'm nitpicking, but for somebody like myself who hasn't really played a Smash Bros. Game in a long time, it's just it's a lot of options on shit that you just want to. For me, I just want to play the game. I don't care about having to do things on things and having menus hidden for the sake of just let me press start, let me change the controls, let me jump back into the game. I have to back out of everything, and there's a load screen for every fucking menu you do. Like, the screen will literally go black, and then it's like there's a Smash Bros. Logo, and then the screen will come. You're like, well, fuck, I gotta recheck my spirits, and then you gotta back out, and it's more waiting, and it's annoying. So that part's annoying. I can get over that because eventually when you get your settings right and everything's good, it's done.
Yeah.
So I'm just going by my initial stuff, so I can get over that.
Yeah.
Then we go to the online. And guys, if you're ever thinking about playing online in Smash Bros., don't. It's horrible. It is absolutely a nightmare. It is fucking awful. It is the worst gaming experience I've had since revisiting Brood War on the N64. It's that bad. It's really that fucking bad. The lag is so fucking bad. How in the fuck do you play a competitive fighting game in a game that's super fast-paced to begin with? There's nothing slow about this game.
Super quick, yeah.
How the hell do you go and fight on 15 to 20 frames a second and then have it choppy as fuck? Nintendo, stop. Give us dedicated servers.
You know what's worse than that, though? You know what's worse than that is how they match you with people, where you select some parameters, and then it kind of like matches you with people looking for similar parameters.
Yes.
And what I've seen in a lot of streams is that what just ends up happening, because there's so many options, is that you never really end up in what you're looking for.
No.
And neither does the other person.
No.
The system just kind of goes,
here you go.
It's like you're on the, it's like, you have those, you know what this is like? It's like you have one of those puzzles you've had out on the table for like a month or so, and you just slowly pick away at it. And you're getting down to the point where there's maybe 50 pieces left, and it's one of those sections is like all solid color. And you've got a piece that it looks like it goes in there, and it gets like 85% of the way in, and you're like, And you look at the other pieces, and you go, fuck it. You just jam it in. You just jam that fucker in there.
That's
what their matchmatching system does. It goes, fuck it.
And I'm telling you, the lag, it's in you can't do a 4-man. So sometimes if you get lucky, I would say once every 5 games on a 1v1, you'll be able to play it with no issues. Okay. Right? Or very minimal.
Okay.
But if it's a 4-player game, like if you're doing a free-for-all or a team 2v2,
good
no,
luck.
it doesn't. No, dude, it doesn't exist. You actually can't play one without lag. I've never seen it. I've watched tons of. It doesn't happen. They're like, I'll just do. You can create this battle or this tournament thing. Just do 1v1s. That's the show. Here's the other shitty thing. So not only is the online horrible, guys, and I'm not over exaggerating for it's this Smash Bros. Fanboys. I'm giving your game.
This is on Wi-Fi. This is on hardwire. It
yes,
doesn't really matter.
It doesn't fucking matter.
Hardwire makes it better, but it doesn't solve the problem.
It doesn't solve the problem. Because ultimately you're going to play against people that are on Wi-Fi as well. It just doesn't. It doesn't fucking matter. All right, and I mean, I could play Wi-Fi on my computer. I could play StarCraft on Wi-Fi, League of Legends, Heroes of Storm.
Well, but the Wi-Fi card in your computer is a shitload better than the fucking garbage tier $4 backwater Taiwanese.
On top of that, you want to talk, you have to use your phone.
Don't get me started on that shit.
I won't. But I just want to just throw that in. I just want to throw that in there. Oh, you also have to pay monthly to play online. You actually need,
which every console at this point does. So I'm not going to harp them on that.
Yeah, but I mean, for their quality of online, come on, give me a fucking break here.
You're paying like $3 a month.
Give me a fucking break.
But you shouldn't even have to pay $3 a month.
It should be free $99
for that
for the shit that you're dealing with, because it's an inconvenience. I immediately just stopped. Thank God I had a free 7-day trial. I've already canceled that before they auto renew.
Don't you have phones?
Yeah. So all right. So there's that. All right. So the online is terrible. Here it gets worse. There's no real ladder system. They just got rid of like competitive ladder. Like there's no leaderboard in terms of hey, I'm gonna grind up the ranks. I'm a fucking bronze scrub, or it doesn't exist. It just doesn't fucking exist. Somebody told me in some weird way that they usually somebody said that there was some sort of competitive mode.
Well, there has to be some sort of MMR system so that their matching can be at least
no, but here's
a little
the thing.
bit.
Here's the thing. When you want to match,
you're coming at me with this, which means it's real.
No, yeah. So here's the thing, Adam. Here's the thing.
What is?
And if you don't want to play against scrubs, you put in your preference that you want a veterans of the game.
Oh, okay.
And then if you want, I think it call it like Smash Ultimate or Smash something, where it's like, the gods.
The gods,
right?
That's where the gods
But the
play.
thing is the gods, they'll troll you and they'll just go into the shitty mode and just
course,
fucking smack you, just smack you around.
Of course.
For just no apparent reason. So there's no real feeling of grind and competitiveness, and on top of that, thank God there isn't, because the lag in itself would just ruin the whole experience. The online's horrible. So here it is. For me, somebody that's an online guy, I don't have my boys over here in the basement every other day to play Smash.
Yeah, exactly.
I just want to go online and fuck around and fight people and move up a little bit of ranking and feel like there's some sort of competitiveness. None of it exists. And then when you put in your preferences.
But wait, there's more.
Oh, wait, there's more. When you put in your preferences, so say this.
Yes.
Say you're like, you know what? My preference is 1v1 and 3 stock and 8-minute time limit.
Okay.
And no items.
Okay.
And battlefield maps only.
Sure.
Okay? It's just a preference. It's just a fucking
You never get that.
You never get that. So instead, you'll get a random 2 versus 2, and 5 stock, and items, and no battlefield. It's just a preference, and it never. And even fuckier is this. I was queuing up. I'm like, yes, I got a 1v1, no items. It's a battlefield. It's everything I wanted, and the guy doesn't lag. This is great. And I'm playing the game, and this is like once every 20.
Of course.
Right? Which is like 2 hours of gameplay trying to find the fucking unicorn.
Winning the lottery.
Right? In hopes that he doesn't like leave or whatever. And then on top of that, when you're done the game and both players can opt to play again. Right? So you don't have to go and redo all the shit, which is perfect. So we both redo and opt in. When you opt back in, it can all fucking change. It doesn't keep the same shit. So you'll have the first time you played 3 stock, now it's 1. And there's no way for you both to choose while you're together that I want 3 stock.
I want what we just did.
I just want what we just did.
We both liked it.
We both liked it.
We would like to continue this.
Yes.
I'm going to press the button to continue this.
Yes.
And you're going to give me some completely new rules.
Yes. That's it. And on top of that, there's not even an option that when you finally find somebody that you can just change things together and just pick your own shit and then each person agree and ready up. You can't even do that. It's just random shit. And it's an endless exhibition of lag. It's horrible. It's fucking an embarrassment. It's such a great game with such a shitty online. It's one of the best competitive, most intuitive fighting games I've ever seen. It's so awesome looking. It feels great when you're playing against AI. You want to play against a real human that isn't beside you? It's unplayable. It's gone. It's dead to me. I'll never play it again ever, which is a shame. It's a shame. I paid $92 for the game, and I can't even play it online, and I don't want to play AI all the time. I don't find that fun. So fuck me. So unless you're playing LAN, or you just like playing one against the computer in story mode, buy the game. If you want to play online, save your fucking money. Don't buy it. It's horrible. It makes me angry because it's such a great Smash Bros. It's the best. It's the very best. So there it is.
It is annoying.
You know what? I'm bringing it down to a 2 out of 10 because that's how bad it is, man. A 2 out of 10. If you're in it for online, it's a 2 out of 10.
Well, yeah, that makes sense. If you're in it for online, then yeah, I can get behind that. It's really annoying because you get a team that puts together the most comprehensive Smash Bros. Game of all time, and not by some small margin. Like, this is the most. It's actually almost too comprehensive.
It is too comprehensive.
And
it is
then,
actually too comprehensive.
And then you remember that it's Nintendo, and they don't know how to do online. They haven't figured it out yet. And it's like they refuse to figure it out. And so you get this shit system, and you know that their backup for this is going to be, well, you know, we're not really all that interested in the competitive scene. We'll make you unlock the competitive mode, but we don't want people just playing the same shit over and over again because we want people to experience all the facets of Super Smash Brothers. So we don't want to be able to just have you guys do that shit. And then even then, again, that console has some of the worst Wi-Fi of any device I've ever used. I had an old Atrix 4G that had better Wi-Fi connection than that fucking console. And that's a brand new fucking piece of hardware. It's garbage Wi-Fi. And then like the greatest thing is they haven't even produced, to my knowledge, a Nintendo branded LAN adapter for the Switch. You use the old ass Wii adapter that still miraculously works if you plug it into the USB port on the fucking dock, and then you get at least decent internet, but then you still have to fight with the fact that most of the online shit is all still stuck in like 2004. Like, Nintendo's literally living almost 20 years in the past for online capability. And it's insane. And they chose now as the time to charge people for this shit? That's just fucking madness, man.
It's really bad. And I'm not the only one bitching about this. You go to any fucking stream on Twitch. Anyone. It's all bad. And then people are like, oh, there's workarounds where you can go into the network and change your wireless setting from 1400 something to 1500. It makes a little bit of a difference, and it did. I changed it, and it made a very small difference. But it's so fucking bad. You can get away with playing 1v1s, and I would say maybe 50-50. And depending on who you get, where they're from, you'll be okay. And even then, you'll never get like a match that the whole way through that there's no fuckery.
Yeah.
And there's nothing worse that when you get knocked off the side of a map.
Lag hits.
And lag hits when you're trying to bounce back in.
Yeah,
there's nothing worse.
You can't get more frustrating than that.
You can't do it. And I hate to be that guy that complains about lag, but you could just watch it.
Just
you
watch
watch my
anyway.
past
It's all
broadcast.
bad.
You'd be
It's
like,
all
what
bad.
the fuck is this? You just can't play like that. You just can't. And there's no need for it. It's 2018, Nintendo. There's no need for it. If you can't do online right,
then
don't do it at all. Don't give me the option, because I would have never bought the game.
No.
I would have just never went, because I don't have anybody else to play with. I would have just said, fuck Smash Bros. Don't give me an online option. You want to put online leaderboards for your computer playing shit? Fine. Don't do a 1v1 or a 4v4 shit. Don't do it online, please. Don't, because it just makes you look incompetent. It's horrible.
Yeah, it's really bad. It's really bad. And it's just, there's no excuse for it. I don't understand why they can't seem to just figure out online. It's not like they're hurting for the money to pay somebody to figure it out for them. They always have to have all these, like, Nintendo has this thing where everything always has to be more complicated than it needs to be. It's like the Nintendo login shit with, like, and then you get friends codes. There's always some extra step to make it. And then even when you get it, it's still mediocre.
Yes.
At best.
Yes.
And it's just very frustrating.
Like, I get it. Lag can happen online. It just can. And it's unavoidable to some degree.
But the phone thing,
But,
that's what pisses me off with their online shit, is like, really? If I want to use most of your online functionality, like, yes, I have a phone, thank you, Blizzard, but it doesn't mean that I want to use it for my console online experience. I have a glorified fucking phone in my hands I'm playing with.
Let's bog down your Wi-Fi some more, shall we?
Like, why am I strapping another device to myself just to be able to talk to people when I've got everything I need right there? Just put a jack on the fucking console.
Because that would make sense, Adam. That would make sense. Anyway, enough with Smash. I digress.
It's bad.
10 out of 10 for LAN. 2 out of 10 if you want to play online. If you want to play online, it's 2 out of 10. And if you do only 1v1 and about 50% of your games,
still going to be rough.
It's still going to be rough. But that's it. And no real competitive. No real shit. So anyway, what's next?
Yeah. Game Awards show happened the night after our last podcast.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think you watched it as well. I watched it.
I watched quite a bit of it.
Went more smoothly than the last couple of years for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Jeff Keighley's getting better at it. He's bringing this magic together. Bless his heart, he's out there giving it his all, making this award show happen. But I have to say something that kind of popped into my head because watching it, I couldn't help but feel they had all these exclusive announcements, right? Trailers, games that hadn't even been seen before, and shit.
Exclusive.
It started feeling like E3.
Yes, it was.
It wasn't like
E3.
And then we get
awards.
to like sections of the Game Awards where it would just be talking head Jeff Keighley with like text that pops up next to him on the screen while he's sitting there on the balcony above the main stage, running off like. And for this category, we have this, and the winner is these guys.
Yeah.
And then it would just immediately roll into the next thing.
World
and be
premiere.
Like, and now it's this, and these guys win. And now here's a world premiere. And then when the big ticket items show up, then we get all of like the stage presence stuff or whatever. But it felt like it was like some weird hybrid of like E3 and an award show.
That's because it was. And I think what it was is there's a lot of companies paying some money to have some plug-in going on. And I think it just turned into a sponsored show with the occasional award. That's what it felt like. It was just, and the world premieres were just, most of them were just dumb. It was like 20 seconds of some sort of animation with no real gameplay, nothing.
I mean, I'm not against them having like announcement trailers and shit
That's fine.
at the Game Awards.
But it was 90% announcements.
It was a lot,
and 10% award giving.
And there was a lot of like really awkward kind of side pieces again, like a lot of like extra talking that I felt like didn't need to happen. The show could definitely be tightened up, I think, for sure. But of the announced games, we got Outer Worlds from Obsidian, which was the game that we talked about on the podcast that same day, where they had teased some images and sure as shit, it does kind of look like a Borderlands meets Fallout hybrid. I think, did you see the trailer for that one? Yeah, it looks good. It's not a game that has as much of a budget as a Fallout game, but it still looks like it's got huge amounts of character. And it looks interesting. I'm on board now. I want to see more gameplay, obviously, but I'm certainly interested. It was kind of fun as well. In the trailer, they said from the people that made the original Fallout and Fallout New Vegas, which was kind of like a low-key kick in the sack to Bethesda, using the Fallout name, but not just any Fallout, the original Fallout creators,
of course,
and Fallout New Vegas, which people widely regard as the only good Fallout games, was fun. But when you do that, now you get to bring it, right? If you're gonna, even though Bethesda's at their absolute lowest that they've ever been. And I'm saying that that's probably the case right now. I don't think Bethesda's ever had
it's never been this low.
A lower point.
No.
In the modern gaming times anyway. Even with them being there, if you're going to kick them when they're that far down, you better bring some good shit. Now, luckily for them, the bar isn't very high.
No.
It's not a particularly high one to leap.
No.
And this is also a game that was in process before Microsoft's acquisition. So it's not going to be a Microsoft exclusive, and I don't even know if Microsoft sees any royalties from this. At least not in the way that they would in games that are going to be coming out from the studio afterwards. So this will be on PlayStation as well, and Xbox, probably also PC. And so it's going to be a multi-platform deal, so people didn't have to, some people were concerned that this was going to be an Xbox exclusive so soon after the acquisition that Microsoft had. but apparently it was already in process. So we got that, and we also got one of the most cringeworthy parts of the show. I don't know if you saw this part.
The black dude?
Which one?
The gay one. The super gay one.
Oh, Echo Fox.
Self-proclaimed super gay, by the way.
No, not that one.
Okay.
There was some. I'm gonna label that one. We can talk about that afterwards if we want, but I'm gonna label that as understandable cringe.
Mm-hmm.
I got why. I got that. But the cringe was the Crash Team Racing where they had Crash in like the mascot outfit.
Oh yes.
And
yes.
it was super.
Yes.
He said a couple of like.
He had the fucking.
He had the tiki head, and he had a couple of like the one-liners from Crash, and you could literally see the dude's face in the cutout, and I was like,
try to
oh my god, it's so cringe.
Yeah, it was bad.
But for the people who liked Crash Team Racing back in the day, it was a pretty good kart racer. They're redoing it, which seems to be the case with most of Crash's stuff. And it looked good. I mean, it looked like a kart racer, and Crash was not the worst kart racer that existed at the time.
No.
Lots of people are excited for it. So good news for them. Otherwise, that was pretty much it. We got to see a couple of games that the Epic Games Store will have and have now on there, including Journey on the PC.
It's a good game.
It's the only game since I started reviewing games that I gave a perfect score. And I cannot wait to play that on the PC because it's going to look.
I've never played it,
real
so
good.
I think I'm probably going to do the PC. I only took your word for it.
It might not even be a game for you, but I think even you'll appreciate.
It's going to be an experience.
How fucking good Journey is. So I was super excited for. And then we saw some of it was lots of the indie showcase, which is what people were interested in. You know, how many people are going to go to these guys? Supergiant Games did Bastion, did Transistor and stuff. They've got Hades was the game they showed off. That was looking. I mean. You can tell a Supergiant game when you see it now. It's that isometric view, very distinct art style. The voiceover stuff tends to be in there a lot. Music is always really good. So people are
very artsy fartsy.
People are always jazzed for some Supergiant games. So that'll probably do well. And then we saw Ashen, which was a game that we had seen at E3, I think, possibly. It's kind of like a Dark Souls kind of deal, like an indie game version of Dark Souls. And some others. And if you go to the Epic Game Store right now, they have a pretty solid list that includes stuff like Super Meat Boy and things.
I'm just happy it's not garbage on there.
Like there's some good shit.
So good.
Yeah, there's some good shit, which is what we were talking about, is if they're going to do it
right.
Pick the good ones.
Yes.
And so far it looks like they're like 90%
it's good.
Picking the good ones. So that went well. Other than that, how did you feel? Not that most people take a lot of the game award shows seriously, but since this is for our industry, it is the, all the publications do their game of the year and all that shit. But this is the one kind of pinnacle game award show. It's kind of like the Oscars almost, or that's what he's going for anyway. Jeff Gill is going for. But I guess he's hoping that people actually take this one seriously versus the Oscars. What was your take on some of the victories? Game of the year went to God of War. What was your take? Did you have any games that won categories that you were like kind of squinting your eyes going like, what the fuck? Or did everything kind of make sense to you?
A lot of it made sense.
Yeah.
It seemed pretty fair. It didn't seem like they were trying to make some sort of statement and, like the Oscars would where they're like, oh, we hate big blockbuster movies. There's no way any of these are winning. I'm happy Fortnite didn't win everything. I'm happy, there's just certain games that, and I've never played God of War, and people have just love that shit, right?
Yeah.
So I get it. I'm not mad that it got Game of the Year. I'm actually, I'll be honest with you, I actually think Fortnite should have won Game of the Year simply because of what Fortnite has done for the gaming world. I think that alone, you can even probably peg a big amount of the success that even the Game Awards has this year and the viewership is because of Fortnite, is because Ninja's in attendance, is because Fortnite has gotten into the homes of almost every single hell, I was having a conversation with my dad. I took my dad out for lunch the other day after we were done repairs on one of the properties. And he just randomly mentioned, you hear about this Fortnite game?
That's when you know.
You like that.
That's when you know.
Dude,
the reach is real.
The reach is real. And I think, sure, Fortnite may not be the best achievement in terms of the game
It's
that's
not
built.
a game that wins Game of the Year because of the game.
Exactly.
It wins it because of what it
what
did.
it did for gaming.
Yeah.
And I think because there isn't a category that a game that has changed the game, right?
Yeah, exactly.
That has transcended gaming or really made an impact on gaming.
They do have a category for best ongoing game,
I guess that
which I think Overwatch won. That I was surprised Fortnite didn't win. Although Fortnite's so new, it's probably not even really something to look at because Overwatch has been around for longer.
But hey, I'm nitpicking. I mean, I'm down for God of War winning. I'm just saying, I think if Fortnite, if there was an award that Fortnite, in my opinion, should have won just because of what it has done. I think, and this is coming from somebody that has been negatively affected by Fortnite. I mean, there's a lot of content creators that are like not doing well. Because they're not on that Fortnite hype.
Exactly.
And everyone's on that Fortnite hype. And I have to, even as somebody that has been affected by Fortnite in a negative way, I even take a step back and can appreciate what Epic has done and what Fortnite has done for the gaming world as a whole. It's been phenomenal. But overall, it didn't do any of those Oscar tropes where they seem stuck up or they have an agenda. The only thing that I've noticed was the amount of advertisements that they were doing, and that was evident. But at the same time, they got to pay their bills. They got to do it.
I'm never upset. I didn't even think the advertisements were that crazy. Like they did an okay job.
But I'm talking about the world exclusives and all this stuff like
that.
Those are all paid for, man. They're paying. Those are hidden advertisements.
Sure.
And a lot of them is like stuff that really a lot of us didn't, and for me anyway, they didn't really care about, or I didn't need to see, or that I see it, heard about it.
I guess I'd prefer it. If
it's
it
not
was
enough awards.
It
just wasn't enough celebration of video games, and it was more of.
I felt like
what
more
we
categories could have been more time could have been given to categories of winners versus.
And it's exactly what you said, where you had dude up there saying, and the best musical performance. Such and such, and the winner is such and such, and it's almost like there wasn't even enough time for the audience to clap.
Yeah.
Nobody got to go up and thank the anything. We didn't get to see who was behind it.
This was still a 3-hour show.
Yes, and there was no picture to see the face. It was just a name, and that was how the vast majority of them went. So I feel like if they would have done a few things differently in terms of that. I think it would have been better. It would have been nice to have some actual musical performances besides that one really cool performance from Red Dead where they had that nice
3 different sets of Hans Zimmer.
Yes, those the orchestra stuff was fine. I really like the Red Dead stuff. There was a lot of soul in that, and you could tell they're real musicians, some really old school dudes
the
doing the shit.
The first half of that song, I was falling asleep. The second half, all of a sudden, I was paying attention.
Yeah. So, but then there was that weird punk rock band that was for Devil May Cry that was absolutely horrible.
Dude, it's fucking Devil May Cry. Everything about Devil May Cry is edgelord teen cringe.
Man, it was bad.
All of it. That song. Not only is the song first of all, when they announced it that it was supposed to be something to get excited for, I was like, okay. And then they got up there and they did it, and the guy was just talking kind of loudly. He wasn't singing.
He wasn't singing.
Talking.
It wasn't even rap.
And it wasn't even like on tune.
No.
It was just kind of there.
And then he disappears. And then he just was gone. And then it was this girl killing my ears. So it was it was like I think, listen, great job. Overall, good. It was a good. I didn't hate it. I didn't watch all of it because it was a little too long. I think I watched about 2 hours of it. But I think there's room for improvement. But overall, I think it was a success. It was probably the most watched one yet. There was a couple of cool announcements that came out of it. And overall, I'm not going to be much of a hater. I'm just nitpicking because that's what we're going to do here. But I think it was fine.
Yeah, there were some awards that I was a bit on the fence about, like best music going to Red Dead over Octopath Traveler, because I think Red Dead might have one song that's really like a standout, whereas Octopath, basically every song in Octopath was fire. A lot of people were confused about that one. Best voice actor not going to Judge, the guy who did Kratos, was probably the most insane. To give that to Red Dead, it's not that Red Dead had bad voice acting, but Judge did such a fucking incredible Kratos. Holy fuck. I mean, I played about halfway or a little bit, somewhere about halfway into God of War, because I was playing on the second hardest difficulty with no HUD. It took me a little while. to get places. But if there's one takeaway from that game, all things other than the fact that it's a beautiful looking game, it sounds great, is the voice acting from Kratos himself is fucking fire.
Yeah,
Some
I
of
can
the
imagine,
best
yeah.
voice acting I've ever heard in a game. And so when I saw the list come up, I was like, oh, this is a fucking shoo-in. It's easy. And it went to Red Dead like half the awards in the fucking show did. And I knew it was coming, but a small part of me was hoping that it would like the way I would have planned it, or I would have probably liked to seen it, would be there were categories that Red Dead won that I didn't think they needed to win. Red Dead did everything in every category really well, but I thought that on an individual basis, other games did those really hyper-specific things better.
Mm-hmm.
So just voice acting would go to God of War. Just music goes to Octopath. Game of the Year, give it to Red Dead. I was actually surprised when God of War took Game of the Year. I expected Red Dead take Game of the Year, God of War to take one or two of the smaller categories where it was better on like an really specific basis.
Yeah.
But Red Dead as an entire game was just flat out better than everything else in the market.
Mm-hmm.
So I was a little hit or miss. RPG of the Year going to Monster Hunter World. I don't even consider Monster Hunter World an RPG, which is part of my problem with it. When I saw it in the list, a lot of people in chat, and myself included, were going, that's an RPG? It's like an action-adventure game.
Mm-hmm.
There's not...
There's no real RPG element to it, I guess.
Understand that I understand that the genre of RPG has become incredibly
open world,
diluted.
I guess,
over the years, it's become incredibly diluted. But when you look at the other games in that list, it was like, Ni no Kuni, Octopath Traveler, like RPGs that if you looked at them, immediately are RPGs. And then it was like Monster Hunter World, and you went,
okay.
What? And then it wins, and everybody was going,
okay.
And it's not to say that Monster Hunter World was a bad game. Monster Hunter World is a fucking fantastic game. It's just not an RPG.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was hard to watch some games get kind of shafted a bit. But I like the RPG. I almost feel like we need a more specific term for RPGs now, because so many genres have taken RPG elements and infused them into first-person shooters and adventure games, and it makes everything kind of like, if you wanted to call everything an RPG, technically speaking, Forza Horizon, I play a character, I get points, I progress, there's a story mode, it's technically
racing RPG.
I'm playing. It's not an RPG.
A simulation
Get the
RPG.
fuck over yourself. I don't think
They just want to give him an award.
They just want to give it an award. It was like, we need to give Monster Hunter World an award because we need to reward the fact that this is no longer just on a handheld. What can we do? Give it an RPG. Just do it like a sore thumb. But the overall award's great. The Echo Fox winning, I voted for him. I wanted him to win because he is a young kid, brave as fuck. I couldn't be a black gay furry and be a public facing individual at his age. Take some fucking stainless steel sack. Like I don't know. He's young, a lot younger than we are.
Okay.
A lot younger than we are.
I could tell, like, when he first came out and he put that shit on, right?
Sonic Fox, not Echo Fox.
Yeah,
Sonic
Fox.
Who was on Echo Fox,
Yeah.
I think, the esports team.
So when he put that shit on, I'm like, wait, isn't that supposed to be, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't even want to say it.
What?
I don't even want to say it.
Well, I mean, if you're a bit ignorant of it, nobody's gonna fucking yell at you for it. It's not like you're well versed in the art of furry.
Well, I from what I was told, and what I was confused about it is something about some big gay sex shit that goes on when you put on some furry heads.
Oh, no, it's just furries.
Okay, because I heard
furries is a very broad category.
Okay,
right?
because somebody told me that there's this entire thing.
Well, there are people who are into dressing up in costume and getting a little, whatever, and that's fine.
Okay.
But then there's some people that also just like to literally be dressed up on the regular.
Okay.
In that kind of deal.
Okay.
There's some anthropomorphic animal stuff.
It's
it's like when they were kids, like when we were kids and Lola Bunny and Space Jam was a good time.
Yes.
It's like you took that and then now you're 20 years old and you actually have a thing for that, and now you want to also dress up for it a bit.
Okay, then that makes a little bit more sense. Because I was confused by all of it, and then somebody in chat said, "Well, there is this thing," and then the guy, the young guy, the young black dude, he seems like a really he seems like a really cool, like down to earth, like you could tell
he's
he
just
was
very young and very nervous. He's 21 years
old. He was young and nervous, and there was something innocent about him too. Like he didn't realize. I don't know. At first I was like, this is really awkward, and then as the more he started talking, and then him realizing that he's being awkward, and then it just being awkward, I started to like really like the dude. I'm like, this guy's a really likable guy. And then he said, by the way, I'm super gay. And then I was like, okay, why did you need to tell us? Because the last thing I was thinking is, this guy's gay. I didn't have that vibe from him.
Are you serious?
I'm dead serious. Like,
wow.
The only time that I got that vibe was when somebody in chat told me that it was like a gay fetish thing, and I didn't think that he was gay. Then when he took the thing off and I saw him, and I was like, okay.
It's also not an exclusively gay fetish thing for those of you listening who you might not know. And the reason why I know a lot about this because I have several people in my community who are part of said community.
Okay.
And so so that I'm not saying crazy shit, I've asked them. In fact, when I was playing Pokemon, we had hours waiting around for shinies. We had this conversation.
Okay.
Because I was like, I just need
to
I'm
getting learned right now.
I want to understand
and
it.
Excuse my ignorance about it.
I
don't know anything about this stuff, right? And to each their own. I don't give a shit what the fuck people do.
Yeah.
I actually thought it was kind of cool. I thought the whole Sonic thing was cool. I thought that was like part of his gig. I thought that was like part of his...
That's his own character he created.
Oh, well, then I think that's cool.
And that's his bit.
Then I think that's cool. And then it started to get a little weird and awkward. But at the end of it, I'm like, I like that guy. At the end of it, I was like, I like that dude, a young gay black guy, doing big things at a young age, and he's being praised for what he's been doing. So, kudos to him. Definitely a little awkward and weird at times, but you know what? He's a nerd. He's an introvert nerd.
Well, it's definitely
that's what we are to a lot of us.
It went over well and it went over not well, but it depends. Like so, the way to look at it is when he went up there, he did his thing. Is one, you have this is my assessment of it. I'll stick my neck out and put it in and assess the situation.
You assess.
But when you're like we just mentioned like several times, and it's part of his whole deal anyway is to flaunt the fact that he's black, gay, and a furry, which puts you in like three different boxes you don't want to be in, culturally speaking, societally speaking. People are already going to come at you for being black. They're going to come at you for being gay.
Black and
gay, and then they're going to come at you for being a furry. But if you're black, gay, and a furry, you're in some unholy trifecta fucking satanic clown orgy of shit that people are going to look at.
The only thing you're missing is the trans.
If
you're a black, gay, trans furry,
the rest of the way.
That's
if you can somehow fit Jewish in there,
woo!
Now you're really talking.
A gay, black, furry, trans, Jewish gamer.
That's about it.
Woo! It's all the boxes.
So that it's. But think about what growing up for him was probably like. It was pretty crazy, and he probably bottled all that shit up. His personality like crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Then you get to a point where you find a group, no matter how big, that doesn't give a fuck, and you might stumble into a community who's also into the furry gig. And this is my assessment. I'm not saying everyone, but it's a method of externalizing, or it's like having a mask on, right? You put that, and I bet you he's probably said at some point. He puts that on. He feels like a different person. He probably feels more confident. He probably can just go do his thing, and not feel like he's being. Or at the very least, it's the costume
mask,
that's
dude.
being.
It's the illusion of being able to put something on and be yourself.
So most people fall into a social chameleon role when they just try and act like a different person in order to be accepted.
Yeah.
This is like an extreme form where now you're literally externalizing it entirely to a different character that you've created.
Yeah.
It's almost like an entirely different persona.
Yes.
It's bordering on it's in my estimation, and I'm no psychologist or psychiatrist. It's bordering on.
It's like bipolar
multiple
type
personality,
shit. Or multiple personality, yeah. That's
where
right.
you're literally you're compartmentalizing and externalizing a lot of negative shit and then bundling it up and dealing with it in an external
It's like
thing.
being an actor. It's like, you get so into character when you're on set. It's like, that's who I am. That's it. When you put on the mask, you put on the makeup, you become this person, and then you can just be free.
So you get that, and you get it at that age, and you get to a platform where you have success, while doing all of those things, and then you get to just kind of just let it all out, and just a bundle of nerves and excitement and all the shit. So what he was probably really wanted to go up there and do, and I'm sure he wanted to piss off some people who were like he probably called them like the extreme right wingers and shit that come after him all the time, or the Republicans or some shit. You know, if he was a little older and wasn't so bundled up with all this to let out and just fucking do whatever with, he'd probably have just said something like, you know, this is for my, you know, my gay community or the furry community. You know, you can still have success and be rewarded for it, and when still being yourself and doing your thing. But that just came out as, I'm super gay and fuck Republicans and and then it just like it all goes like all this.
Well, he
shit.
was nervous too, and he's
nervous,
just like
young,
adrenaline's just fucking
and
pumping.
it just all kind of came out that way.
Yeah.
So that's, you know, that's kind of how it went down.
I definitely didn't leave it going, man, fuck that guy.
No, I was all thumbs
I think
up.
I think he's probably a really great dude. He's obviously super talented.
All thumbs
He's young
up.
and black, so you know I can relate to that some extent. I love to see a young black man, you know, crushing it and doing well.
He's doing really well. But here's the thing: somebody said, "I wish people talked about his skill rather than him being."
Well,
gay
I mean,
and
listen.
furry. But here's the thing:
when you go on stage with a fucking furry thing and then you want to just put it all out there, of course we're going to talk about that.
He wants you to. His whole shtick is, I'm a gay black furry that's kicking your ass in games.
I am a super gay black furry.
Super gay
and
black
I'm
furry.
fucking you in games.
So of course that's like what people are going to talk about, and it's of course what people are going to talk about because it's abnormal, and that's what people talk about. Nobody wants to just I don't hear very many people saying that he's a shit video game player.
Listen, if he
he's
came
incredible.
up, if he went up on stage with a gay lisp. You know, sorry guys. If you went on and said, "Hey guys, I just want to thank everybody. I want to give a shout out to the LGBTQ community, and go watch it," and he left, I don't think the conversation at all would be like, "Oh, this dude is super gay." It would just be like, "Oh, you know, the Prodigy or whatever his name is." You know, he won an award. I think we're kind of over that for the most part. I mean, some, you know, crazy part of Reddit or 4chan might talk about that. But I think even on this podcast, we're not going to fucking bring up the fact dude's gay.
No.
It's just that he went over the top about it, made it sort of made a statement about
Which he
it.
wanted to
which
do.
he wanted to do.
And that's great.
Thus, that's why people are talking about
And
it.
that's why he's talking.
That's
exactly.
it. It has nothing to do with like, oh, I wish you guys would just stop talking about him being gay.
In
It's
case you were wondering, he is a really good video game player.
Well, that's why he won the award.
He is pretty good at pretty much every game he lays hands on, especially if they're fighting games. Yeah. I've been a fan of his for a while because he's just an absolutely fantastic player. Just so happens that he also likes to flaunt heavily that he's
Well,
gay,
here's
black,
the
and
thing.
furry.
I've never heard of him in my life, and the first time I ever heard about him was him
on stage.
flaunting the fact that he's a gay Furby. And I was like, okay, you know, that gay Furby guy, he was cool. And that's it. I don't know what game he plays. I don't know his story. So if that's the first type of information I'm getting from him, and that he's literally shoving down our throats, you know, purposely, and he wants, you know, to make a statement, then I'm going to talk about it.
Yeah.
There's no disrespect to him. I don't give a fuck who he sleeps with. I don't care what he wears. I don't give a shit about any of it. Whatever makes you happy in life.
You do you.
Do you, boo. Do you.
You do whatever you want.
Shit, man. I might even get me one of those fucking things and try that out, man. I want to get my own. Sometimes, you know what I've always fantasized about getting?
What?
A real-life black Power Ranger suit.
Let's go.
And I just want to fucking wear
You're
the
gonna
black.
put Kayla in the pink Ranger suit.
Not even. Fuck that. I just want my own.
You just want your own.
And I just want my own suit. And I just want to, like, go out, like, you know, drive around in the Benz and just get the fuck out. And just fucking just do some... do some black Power Rangers, go down to the waterfront and just fucking speed run and just say, it's morphin' time, and just go back home. Sometimes I just want to do that shit.
Why not?
Fuck it. You know?
Just make sure nobody sees your face.
Yeah. You know what? And if they do, I'm gonna say I'm a straight black,
I'm a super straight
powerful
black guy.
I'm not joking. I fantasize about doing that.
I'm not gonna put it past you. Mm-hmm. I'm not gonna put it past you. That's
Anyway,
for sure.
What's next?
Let's see. What do we have after that? South Korea banned boosting and has up to 2 years in prison and an $18,000 fine.
Yo, bro, do you want to hit diamond? Give me that account, and I'm gonna make it happen. That'll be 2 years in prison if you get caught.
I mean, it's a bad problem when that actually starts happening. So, because what that means is that the game companies in Korea have lobbied the government to do something about it because they feel like they're losing a lot of money on that shit.
Yep.
So yeah,
Cool.
don't do it if you're in Korea.
Don't do it.
Epic Games is making their cross-platform play technology available for free to other devs. I guess that just means that Epic wants to spread the love of having cross-platform play. Great, awesome,
Cool.
fantastic.
Great.
Intel getting deeper into the esports world with $100 million 3-year deal with the ESL
Cool.
to help boost things along there. Intel just getting in deep. Intel
To help sell more CPUs.
Exactly. The ESL loving them. 100 schmil, no big
It's
deal.
a lot of money.
Last one, and this is a goodie.
Oh shit! Yeah, I see it now.
What a week for Twitch this has been yet again.
It's been a weird. Every week there's something now.
You know what? I openly said it for the first time publicly. Twitch Thought TV.
We went there.
It's a good name. I have to do it. I have to. It's too good to not say.
Twitch Thought TV.
The doc says Twitch Doc TV, which is pretty funny. I always liked it. But it's Twitch Thought TV.
Oh man.
Coincidentally, this
Wow.
isn't the same. This isn't the reason why this person got banned this time. Although an argument might be made for previous
Twitch Thought, dude, that's a fire.
It's fire.
Dude, you need to make shirts. Dude, you will make so much fucking money on that shirt.
Yes.
And if you made the shirt in like a bikini,
I would have
like,
to. I'd have to make a lot because I'd get banned off of the website.
I don't think you would. So, if you made the sweater or t-shirt literally like
Yeah.
a bikini with cleavage,
Yeah.
and you on the back or whatever, just Twitch Thought TV,
Yeah.
dude, that shit would sell. Like I'd buy. I'm sold. Like I'm buying. I'm buying one. Every streamer would wear one on stream to get those views.
But it would just be like a sports bra that's just showing just enough to
Yes.
get past the TOS.
Yes,
And then
dude.
it is what it is.
Dude,
So Twitch
about
Thought TV.
Think about it.
Um
I'm buying one.
But that isn't why she got banned. However, this was Sin Bear got banned because apparently she called somebody or somebody. I can't remember who it was at the time. I don't know if it was in a game or what anymore. It doesn't really matter. Called somebody the F word, not the fuck word, but the other one that somebody might call Sonic Fox if they got particularly upset after him kicking their ass in a game of Marvel.
F blank G.
F blank G.
Yes.
Double G.
Oh,
O
they
to
went.
the full.
Oh, went the
It
full.
wasn't the short form.
Oh, they
wasn't
added
the short-
the OT at the end.
Yes, but it was in a different language. I
Oh,
think it was
so it was
Spanish. I
masked.
think it was Spanish or something. So it was. But then somebody.
So it would have
found
went
out-
over my head.
So somebody figured it out, obviously, because there's people that spoke the language.
Mm-hmm.
and
They got
then,
deciphered.
And then somebody said somebody said fig. Yes. So
fig aunt?
You fig.
I could go for some figs. Anyway,
God.
what is it?
So
Another language.
another language calls him that. Hassan somehow got pulled into this, as he always manages to find himself.
Who?
Hassan.
Oh,
He always manages to find himself in the middle of this shit. And apparently had messaged her and said, why did you have to go and say that I can't help you here? Like, I can't get you out of this. And she goes off on Hassan and was like, of course you can't. You can never do anything, Hassan. Like, goes deep. So she dug herself a real nice hole and then gets a 30-day ban. But she didn't. Because the ban only lasted 3 days.
oh, so we did something?
Somebody did.
Okay.
3-day ban, gets back instead of 30, no apology, no nothing, just reinstated. Absolutely nothing. And people started going,
Hello, darkness, my old friend. Jeff's never allowed to teabag again. 'Cause if he do, he'll get banned for 30.
you'll probably get permanently banned, bro.
I'll get permanently.
You're a dude. You're a
I've
black
got
dude.
A dick. But I'm an OG, so I might have a little bit of pull.
Maybe.
I'm an OG. I'm literally,
Maybe.
without our breed, we wouldn't be where we're at today.
Yeah, but there's not very many people still working there that actually know about us.
No.
So
They're
we're
gonna
probably
who the
still
fuck
fucked.
are you?
Yeah.
you don't make us enough money. If you don't have at least 5,000 subscribers, paid subscribers, we ain't doing no healthy favors for you.
If you have a penis, you're pretty much fucked. There's no two ways around that. So this obviously caught traction in social media pretty quick. And I shouldn't say not surprisingly, because honestly, this has been going on for so long that I was just getting used to the stuff happening, everyone knowing about it, and nobody's saying shit.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, maybe you and I at some point were part of the help when we started blasting this shit.
Dude, I thought I was gonna get in trouble because my shit started to get like a lot of traction.
Yeah, mine too.
And I was like, oh fuck, this thing's got
Might blow up.
This thing's got like 120 retweets and like
shit's
400
getting
likes. I'm like, uh-oh.
Yeah.
what have I done?
What have I done here?
Nah.
So well, for whatever reason, more people are starting to, more partners started to talk about it. But
That's good.
But most importantly, they were partners with actual like credibility.
Yeah.
And female partners.
I saw that
started
today.
coming up. And Munition, who I'd retweeted.
Mm-hmm.
Thankfully, saying something, even in meme form.
You know, and thank
fuck.
And she's actually I've worked with her quite a bit.
And as a god.
Yeah, I've hung out with her quite a bit because we were both on Corsair together. I've met her multiple times.
She's a straight shooter.
She's a straight shooter, and she's not one of those female streamers that uses sexual driven shit. She's just a grinder that fucking works hard. That is, you know, it's a
fucking
great
good
image.
At Rainbow Six.
She's great at games. She's a great image for female gamers. Good, a good influence. Just all great things. And and she's, you know, she's not a small streamer by any means. On top of that,
no, Anne's been around a long time.
Yeah,
too.
she's been around forever. So to have her come out and vocally speak up about the issue, I think is a huge step in the right direction.
Yeah.
Do I think anything's going to change?
No,
not at all. But I think that's a great first step. I mean, there's been other big guy streamers that have been saying some things, and of course, you know, it's whatever.
Some of them have gotten banned for calling out the other streamers for doing this shit, just because they mentioned another streamer by name.
Yes, but that's they have. But normally when that happens, it's on when they're streaming, they mention it and then they go in on them, right? And then there's people on their stream that'll go over to their stream and start fucking, you know, doing what the fanboys do, right?
Sure.
So I think that's probably why they got it. Some got in trouble. Like none of them got like permanently banned. You know, maybe a 24-hour fucking thing or whatever, to my knowledge. But I think
some of them were pretty long, but
it might be. And some of these people that have been saying it too are people that have been getting in trouble with Twitch for years anyway. Like like even the dudes that have been like riding the fucking riding the line, doing some outrageous shit, like fucking just ruffling feathers. You know, one of those shock value streamers, right?
Sure, absolutely.
If it's somebody like you or me or somebody that doesn't really ever say much, you can get away with a lot as long as you're not calling out a specific streamer and really fucking going in on them and having, you know, an influence for your viewers to go over there and cause some shit.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's not like the girl streamers that are doing what we're talking about, their entire stream is a bunch of fucking hate anyway.
Yeah.
It's not like you could even differentiate from the new hate that's pouring in and the hate that's already there.
So this in this case again, this isn't a Twitch Thought TV version. This is she just flat out called somebody that in another language. Then came back. When she came back, she's talking about like she explained that she called another language, and then she tried to play it off as because it was in a different language, it shouldn't matter. Like it didn't. It wouldn't. Like that was her excuse for that.
Oh, that was dumb.
Which was fucking stupid.
That's actually really dumb.
But the thing is, Trihex on stream once, and Trihex is a pretty clean streamer, right? He's not like a wild out there whatever. He accidentally, when he was playing with a friend once, he accidentally let it slip on stream and immediately was like, "Oh my god." And apologized profusely. Like I was like, I you know, obviously didn't mean to have that happen. Slips on stream, whatever. He got a 30-day ban, and that shit was an actual 30-day ban. So we have a direct comparison point between a well-established, this dude is a global emote, Trihex, black male, just fucking call it a male, because this ain't about fucking being black or not. It's male.
It's male.
And the female well-known female streamer, doing the exact same shit. Trihex immediately apologizing for it and being super concerned, showing actual concern over it.
Mm-hmm.
This girl over here not doing any of that, no apology, no nothing, and going in on a Twitch employee all at the same fucking time.
Mm-hmm. Diva.
3-day ban coming in after the 30-day levied, 30-day full extension. Bullshit. It's bullshit, Twitch.
You know
it's
what?
And you have no excuse for it.
If you had even, you know what? If I was in Twitch's position, I'd be waiting for these motherfuckers to do one bad thing, and it wouldn't even be a 30-day ban. It'd be like, get the fuck off my platform.
Yeah, get out.
You're gone.
You're gone.
You're fucking gone.
Yeah.
You're fucking gone. What do you do here? What do you do here? You sit in front of a webcam and you sexually drive money into the platform.
I don't know if Sin Bear does that.
Okay, well, I'm talking about in general.
Yes,
I don't know who the fuck Sin Bear is.
I don't know.
I'm assuming she has boobs.
She does.
And I'm assuming there's favoritism because she has said boobs.
I'm going to go with a hard yes.
So whatever it is, apparently what you do is you offend a huge population of people in a hypersensitive time in life. You don't say sorry about it. You cut up the fucking admins that have the power to fucking delete you. You get the 30-day ban, but you only serve a 3-day sentence. And then you come back and say, well, it is what it is. It's a different language. It is what it is. That just it's annoying. It's
you know what it is? I'm saying it, Jeff.
It's fucking
I'm fucking
annoying.
saying it.
It's so fucking
I'm saying it. Twitch is run by a bunch of thirst boys.
Man.
Done. Flat out. That's the only excuse. We now have a direct fucking comparison of the exact same offense with the man immediately apologizing and being sorry it was a slip and it shouldn't happen, but it happened.
It happens.
It happened.
Dude, I'm not going to lie. Myself, I've almost let some shit slip.
Of course.
Several times.
And if the ban happens, that's fine. But it better fucking happen the same time when the well-known female streamer gets it, goes in on the fucking head of partnership, and still only gets 3 days.
Yeah.
Thirst boys. Stop it. Run the company like men. Stop power tripping so that when you go to TwitchCon, you can hopefully get laid. Stop it. That's what this is now. Everyone's known for years. It's not a secret. You go to any convention and you see shit that shouldn't happen. It's usually dudes working for an esports company or Twitch or another platform that have some sort of power. The girls know it. They fucking abuse it. And they fall for the shit, and then the men are just doing it as a thirst train. And it still happens when they're partnered, because then they get fucking privilege. And on top of that shit, then they go, oh, well, it's because they threatened it was sexism coming after the girls. Then grow a pair of fucking nuts that you're trying to use. Stop it. There's no excuse. If you sat these fuckers down, and this is what pisses me off, Hassan, who says to her, I can't even do anything for you now because of how you had this all come out. And then when somebody on Twitch or on Twitter pings Hassan in this thread, when she comes back, saying, hey, what the fuck is going on here? How is she back? And he goes, don't at me, bro. There's 2,000 employees at this company. I'm not the one that made this judgment call. You're the head of partnership. And you already talked to her about saying that you can't really do anything for her now because of how it went down. Which means you would have probably tried to do something for her if it went down differently. And don't pretend like this shit doesn't happen. Favoritism just happens naturally in companies. It's the way it goes. But when it's so blatantly obvious and you're trying to play it down and you update your TOS and you tell them to hold you guys accountable and then all this shit happens and you're just out back going, stop! Be normal! Get off your power trip! Jesus! I'm waiting for it. Like a couple of years I could see it. 18 plus only section on Twitch IRL.
Damn. You think that's gonna happen?
Yes.
Oof. Damn, Adam's going in, boys.
We didn't think that IRL would have its own section.
That's true.
And then it happened.
That's true.
Then we didn't think it would break down into like 5 other fucking 1,000 categories to get hyper specific. And it happened. We didn't think after the Twitch TOS updated that this shit would still be the norm. And here we fucking are. But if it's making money,
I actually think that's not a bad idea. I actually think they probably should put the but here's the thing. They already do have an 18 plus per the stream. Like when you go onto a stream, it's like 8 you can make the thing for mature audiences only. It's just I think they would have to change the terms of service for what you can stream under that 18 plus. Do you see what I'm saying?
Jeff, it's campsite. Just call it what it is now. I know they don't like to hear that, but what else is it? What the fuck else is it? If you can turn on a stream, sitting by poolside, in whatever the fuck you want so long as you're not naked, and just like sit around on inflated animals, and talk to your chat, and do some weak-ass yoga to cover it up like it's an exercise stream.
Yeah. I mean, that was one of the worst I've seen.
If you can run some like super low cut, push it up and say fucking MILF decorates Christmas tree in your title, fuck! What is this website anymore?
It's so true, because there was literally a
That's the thing. We have screenshots.
MILF decorates Christmas tree, and the funny thing is,
And the follow-up was
the funny thing
follow
is
for Snapchat.
No, you want to know the crazy thing is, and I'm not. This is like reality. The funny thing is the streamer legitimately came from one of those sites.
Yes,
Legitimately,
because they know they can make more money.
Oh man, it's getting crazy. It's getting crazy.
It's just reality. I'm so tired of trying to like cover for him because I'm a partner. I'm just tired of the shit.
Well, other people are speaking out, which is a start. You know, you're not alone.
You get him in a fucking room, you put a camera on. I feel like we're at Trump status. I said this the other day, like Sarah Huckabee Sanders, the fucking press secretary who goes out and literally professionally lies for large sums of money, which is going to have to go to her fucking psychiatric bill after this fucking term is done. And she literally just streams of bullshit. And I feel like you need to go into that room with her and have a 60-inch TV. And every time she lies about, no, this wasn't said, or yes, this is what we did, you press the play button and you show her a play-by-play, and maybe you can get John Madden come out up out of the grave and give a fucking circle like play-by-play of this is when you did this and this is when you did that. And do that. I feel like you need to do that with Twitch. You need to sit them down and you get the heads of them out making all these fucking decisions and making these fucking calls about who's getting banned for how long and how big your titties are. Also, like, Priyo has a fucking has a graph that the bigger your titties are, the shorter your fucking ban time is, and you get that up there and you show them. You go, this is what you're saying, and this is reality. Explain it. Explain yourself. And I have to feel like at some point on the head of Twitch, wherever the bigger decisions are being made, the higher ups don't even know it's happening. Because if they did, something would be done. And if that's not the case, then the worst case scenario is that they do know about it and they're doing it and allowing it because they're liking the money. But they don't want to admit that it's a cam site. 50% of it. Sans nudity. And shit, some of it even was nudity. And it still resulted into like a 3-day ban max. Got some sloppy drunk, hot chick walking up a set of stairs and all of a sudden you see her meat curtains. And this is truth. I'm not making this up.
No, I know it's true.
And because this person was attached to somebody high up in the streaming world, she was like back the next Tuesday. But I've known girls who are like 30 viewers who have everything exactly as it should be, who get reported by a couple of dudes trolling, and they're permanently banned. Stop the madness. Ooh. Own up. Ooh. Own your shit. I'm tired of it. Children. They're fucking children. Not literally fucking children, but they're fucking children.
I know what you're saying. I got it. Whew. The Nova rants.
I can't take it, man. I'm working for these guys.
Mm-hmm.
And somebody would say, well, it's like somebody, Korn. By the way, Korn, I love you. I've known you for years. You are so fucking ignorant in this topic, it hurts my fucking soul. To say something like, well, the reason why this keeps happening is because the people that protested aren't actually protesting the website. Go to another platform. Just fucking up and leave. It's really easy. Yeah, that's great. When your entire fucking income is dependent on this shit, and you've been in the game for years, and Twitch is running the business. Mixer ain't gonna save your ass.
No.
YouTube ain't gonna save your ass.
No.
You leave, you are lucky to get 30%, no matter how much you drill it into the skulls of your fucking community's head, for months ahead of schedule.
Mm-hmm.
You might get 30% because you know why? People are lazy. They want everything in one place. The moment that you leave, you're gonna get maximum 30% of your followers with you to watch your shit.
Yeah,
you have worse monetization options on other platforms.
Yeah.
You have less eyeballs coming to you, and this is especially true for people who are big. If you're a fucking big dick and you're on Twitch, the amount of new followers you get is huge because everyone's on the platform. If you're small, fuck off, go somewhere else if you want, because you're not going to likely hurt yourself as bad. But if you're a big person and you're protesting this, don't be so fucking stupid as to say something like, just actually leave the site. Go join Mixer. Go join YouTube. I'm sure they pay the bills. You have literally less than 0% knowledge.
Read my book.
About what's happening.
Read my book.
Read the book if you want, or I'll just
Grind.
tell you you're wrong.
The Grind.
Flat out.
Now available on Netflix. Or
Flat fucking out.
Netflix.
You know nothing.
Amazon.
Jon Snow. It's on fucking Amazon right now.
It's on Amazon.
Go buy the book.
The Grind.
Learn something.
Get learned.
You can't just solve that problem that way. And why would people leave the platform? This is the best platform to be on. The reason why people stay on YouTube, even when they're protesting YouTube, where the fuck are they going to go? Vivo? Or not Vivo, sorry. Fuck, Vivo's on YouTube. Fucking,
I know what you're saying. The other one.
I can't even think of the name of it.
Exactly.
Nobody cares. It's too big. Twitch is too big. What the fuck? So there's my fucking rant for today. That shit's been pent up for years. Because it's getting worse.
It is. Yeah.
Every time I've looked at it, I go, this is eventually going to,
Yeah. I mean, I don't really have much to say. I mean, you definitely, you.
It's just truth.
Yeah. It is. And my thing would be. I'm loving the fact that we have other big streamers now and female ones, which I think is even more important. That's the most
important thing.
That's the big thing.
Super important.
Female streamers are coming out, and I think I just think things just need to change, and it's been like that for a long time. I know in my tweet that I did a while back, I said hashtag make Twitch gaming again. I think the IRL section has really, like, before it was. Those types of female streamers, and we all know who I'm talking about, but those types of female streamers, when there was no IRL section and you had to play video games, they just kind of had, say, at the time, it was just League of Legends. So they would just have League of Legends running, and then their webcam would be, half the size of the screen, or be taking off half of the lane that they're in, and they would just wear really low-cut stuff and they would do it. But now that there's an IRL section where they can literally
they don't even have to play games.
They just have to sit there and bend over in front of a whiteboard and go into a pool and wear next to nothing and stuff. And I get that. Like I get the hustle, and I've always said I respect the grind and the hustle of these of some of these.
I have nothing against the girls.
No, I mean they're only going to do what you're allowed
Somewhere
to do.
else.
I mean I'm gonna be honest with you. If there is a way for me to exploit ways to earn more and get more viewers,
gonna do it.
That fall under what we think are the terms of service, then I would do it. I'm gonna be honest with you. Now, if I was a female, I probably wouldn't show my body the way they are. But then again, I'm not a female, and I'm maybe not. And I'm not in that. That's up to them. The way that they want to take care and do things with their body.
This is a Twitch operational and TOS enforcement problem.
Yes. So
That's
I mean,
what it is.
the girls are just gonna do what they do. That it's really that simple, and you can't blame them. If I was making $500,000 a year, doing what they're doing, I wouldn't stop either. for fuck that. Fuck what? Why? You know, I got some people on the internet telling me I'm bad names and things. Yeah, it's $500,000. Some of these girls, they're making some serious money, and that's just the money that is being made on Twitch.
Yeah.
They're intertwining this to a Patreon that's pulling in huge money. They're making people subs get Snapchat follows, and they're getting like, you know, literally nudity photos via Patreon, and they're soliciting that service through Twitch, and they're basically giving them a sneak preview of what they'll be getting, you know, when they go above and beyond. So it's a shame that it's come to this. I don't agree with, you know, it'd be one thing if Twitch just came out and said, hey, you know what, this is allowed, and this is what we do here. And then that would be fine, because I think as of right now, the way that things are presented is it's against the rules, because anything that's sexually driven, and I go back to even me teabagging a piece of paper, you know, doing sex weapon and having a lightsaber between my legs while I say different names for a penis, is sexually driven. I still have the email saved, but I was told I just can't do it anymore. And it makes me feel, and it affects me, because I have people asking me, when can we see you do that again? I miss this, I miss that, you know, blah, blah, blah. And it was never really an issue before. I mean, I've been featured on the front page of Twitch.
Yeah.
I've had plenty of mods that love that shit and laughed and says it, but now we're in this really sensitive time.
Selectively sensitive.
Exactly. We're in a sensitive time, and I feel like the guys are being the ones that are being outed, or that are being enforced by this rule, which I'm fine. It's part of.
If it's a rule,
if it's a rule, it's a rule. I'm not complaining about that. I never once said, well, fuck, man, this sucks. It does suck, but I'm not complaining that can't be done. I can see why they're a billion-dollar company. I see why they're doing. I get it.
But then why let it slide somewhere else?
Why is it letting it slide on the female side of things?
Yeah.
And that I don't understand, right?
You know why? Because they make more money with the females. Full stop.
Maybe that's it.
And for some of the guys, I'm telling you, power trip. A fucking power trip. You see it with dudes. It's the same as the people in these communities as viewers watching these girls. They donate the money. They want to feel like they have some sort of fucking rapport with these girls. It's the same shit. What can I do for you? Can I shorten this ban? You know, can I feel like can I be your savior for today? Can I bring this back a bit? Oh, you weren't showing that much titty. Let me just bring that back.
And we'll just end it on this. It was a guaranteed 30-day ban, but it wasn't a 72-hour one.
No, it was It was a 30-day ban levy, just like.
Because I didn't look into it, so I'm only just going by what I'm hearing.
Just like it was for Tri-Hacks, and then 3 days later, just like the Lord Jesus, up and out the door she came.
Yeah.
Rolled that rock out of the way and right back to work. Not a sorry, not an anything. Just here I'm back, and it is what it is. Crazy, man.
It is what it is.
Absolutely fucking wild. Mr. Black, hit me up with the movies and TV.
Movies and TV.
You know, Sonic has had a rough go for a long time. Like, just a really long time. Had its heyday in the Sega Genesis, just killing it. And as soon as the Sega Genesis went down, you know, it had a couple of hits. You know, Dreamcast, I think, saw a good Sonic title. And it's just been rough. And they've had a minor, and I mean minor, upswing in the game segment. But
Very
by
minor.
and large, Sonic has been getting shit on. The poor IP has been absolutely dumpstered for years and years and years and years. And then they go out and announce, hey, guys, we're going to bring to you, in all of its glory, a live-action Sonic movie. To which the world said, but why?
Because we can't figure out another way to make money off Sonic.
Because apparently Sonic hasn't had its reputation shattered enough. We need to get it even worse than it already is. The posters started showing up for this thing.
I saw that.
Have you seen these posters?
I saw the animated one where it's like a literal poster of Sonic fucking just flying
and
through,
like the
the
dark,
electricity
you can't really
going.
see anything but the legs, which are like awkwardly human. And then the one on the Golden Gate Bridge, I think is what it looks like. It's a bridge, and it's just his legs for some reason and his shoes, and it just looks like somebody's human legs with just blue fur and like some normal ass red shoes, and it looks so uncomfortable and cringy. And I'm trying to envision. This is the one I think Jim Carrey's in.
Yeah, he plays
He plays Eggman, Dr. Robotnik.
Yes, Dr. Robotnik.
So,
yes.
like, I'm just trying to see where this is going, and these posters by themselves are not doing this movie.
I think it's gonna crash and burn. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think it's gonna crash and burn.
That's a bold statement. How could you possibly say anything?
Because it doesn't.
So brave.
There's nothing good looking about any of this right now. It's not what we wanted.
I didn't want a Sonic movie. Period.
No.
But if I was gonna get one, would it be live action?
No.
No.
No, it wouldn't. No.
No, it wouldn't.
Yeah.
It's a tough sell.
Looks like ass. I'm gonna be honest with you. Sounds and looks like ass.
It looks real bad. Follow up to that, Star Wars: The Mandalorian show just keeps getting more and more epic casting.
Of course.
Just keeps tacking them on and on, more and more
Dude,
and more
this,
and more.
This
and
show
more.
is going to be
the
fired.
amount of money being thrown around for this Mandalorian show.
Well, they have to because this is on the new Disney platform, and this is what's going to sell. This is what's going to sell those subscriptions.
Absolutely. So we got Werner Herzog and Nick Nolte and Giancarlo Esposito, who is Gustavo Fring from Breaking Bad.
Man, he's one hell of an actor, man.
All three of them are pretty good actors.
Yes.
So, yeah, good shit.
Yeah,
I'm on.
That show is going to be incredible.
Yeah.
I'm just going to throw that out there. The directors that are directing it, the writer Jon Favreau. My body is ready.
It would take something catastrophic to bring this thing down to even mediocre status.
Yeah, and there's been a couple of people that are heavy into the industry that have been on the set of some of these of the filming of some of this, and are like, dude, it's something special. It is something special.
Oh, I hope it is.
We'll see what happens.
Because if I'm going to pay $15 a month for Disney, it better be special.
Yeah.
It better be very special. That's all I've got for movies and TV. You have anything else? Have we hit movies yet?
No, I actually thought the Bumblebee and Aquaman are this week, but it's actually next week.
Next week? Oh,
but reviews are coming out. Bumblebee movie is apparently the best Transformers movie ever created.
Didn't it hold 100% Rotten Tomatoes score for a bit?
I think it's like 96 the last time I checked, which was yesterday. Let me see here. Bumblebee.
Mortal Engine's apparently really bad.
Yeah, I wasn't going to go see that anyway. Well, I actually where is it? I don't see it on here. Oh, coming soon to theaters. Bumblebee is 97% on Rotten Tomatoes. Apparently, this movie is absolute fire. And it's like, it is the original Transformers that basically feels
Not
like...
the Michael Bay
bullshit.
bullshit.
No. This is like contained
80s.
awesome 80s, just straight off the fucking cartoon or animated show right to the big screen. And Aquaman is getting incredible reviews as well. So I'm excited to see both of those movies. And apparently the Spider-Man animated movie, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, a damn near perfect score, 98% on Rotten Tomatoes, and has Oscar buzz written all over it. Apparently this is the best Spider-Man ever made, ever.
I saw that too. I think that was also almost perfect score on Rotten Tomatoes.
I have absolutely no desire to see an animated film, but I'm highly considering going to IMAX 3D.
I forgot it was
and
even coming
watching
out.
this. It's out.
And now it's out.
And apparently it's God tier, like absolute God tier. So, it was one of those things that it was at the end of what was the last Marvel movie that I saw? If you waited, it was at the end of Venom. It was at the end of Venom.
Oh, they had a little preview.
They had a
for it.
preview, and I remember waiting like 10 minutes for the credits to end in Venom, and then it was an animated movie. I'm like, what the fuck did I just sit here? And then as I was watching it, I was like, whoa, this is good.
Really
this
good.
is funny. This is great. There's a lot of action here, and now the movie's out, and I think I might actually go see it. But that's pretty much it. Next week, we'll actually, if I can get to a screening of Bumblebee or Aquaman Wednesday night, I'll have things to say about one of those next Thursday.
Both of them are probably going to be pretty good.
Yeah, it looks like this month's going to be a great month for movies.
Good, solid month for movies.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here. All right, well, we're going to move on to tech support, I guess, because we have nothing else.
Yeah, no, that's pretty much it.
Yep, tech support.
Tech support, tech support.
Matt asks, what are your fondest memories of gaming while growing up? If you have like a fond moment for gaming.
I remember beating Final Fantasy VII. That was a pretty big deal for me.
Mm-hmm.
I probably my most impactful and fondest moments playing games was playing StarCraft Brood War in the summer times. I remember when I first played it for the PC. Obviously, I played it for the N64 here first, and then I found out there was a PC version. Went out and bought it, the expansion set, which is down by your feet, or the battle chest, and I had my first taste of online gaming. I talk about that in my book, The Grind, which is now available on Amazon. Just go ahead and search it, The Grind. You'll find it. Paperback and ebook out now. Getting that first taste of online competitive gaming is probably my fondest and most impactful moment ever. I mean, really think about this for a second. If I never went to, the video store and picked up that game, and my cousin not suggesting to me to pick up that game, and Coleus has always been the guy that didn't really speak up much, and he just kind of went with the flow. Like, we went there for Star Fox, ended up, and then I just couldn't figure it out, and that was when he mentioned, like, StarCraft, and I was like, you know what? He never picks the game. Let me just pick this, and let's just go. None of this would be here. None of it.
No, none of it, no.
None of it. Like, that moment.
The genesis.
That moment.
The genesis of it all.
Really shaped our lives.
The rest of it.
Like, because I would have never have played StarCraft. LAGTV would have never have been born.
Yep.
Ever. Because I only came to you about LAGTV because StarCraft 2 was coming out.
2 was coming, yeah.
That was it. And we played so much StarCraft, as in our teens. It's crazy. So I definitely go with that. I would definitely go with my first competitive StarCraft experience. That was probably my fondest.
I'm going to go with the same one I go with almost every time somebody asks me this question is the first time I played Morrowind, and you leave the office in Seydonin, and the only real pop-up that you see for the longest time, you leave the office after you get your papers and all that shit, you choose your class and whatnot. You step your first step out, and the game pops up a window. It pauses the game, pops up a window, and basically just the summary of it is, you're on your own. Good luck. And then you press A, and that's the only direction the entire game that you get. Everything else is you're on your own, you're out in this big-ass world.
Have fun.
And just go at, and I'd never experienced that in any game before. Every game that I played before that had been so linear, even if there were RPGs that I played in the past. No game had ever literally just said, go get him, champ. Good luck. And just leave you out there, and you're like,
where do I go, Mom?
Especially in a game that's as big as Morrowind, because Morrowind was a pretty huge game world.
Isn't
right?
that kind of like the thing where you just get old enough? Say you're like 12 years old, maybe going on 13, but I would say right around 12 is where you start venturing out.
Yeah.
And you're like, you know what? I'm gonna go on the bus as a 12-year-old, and I'm gonna like go to the mall,
and you see how big the world is.
And you see how big the world, like you stand there, you get on it, and you're seeing people come on the bus, and you're paying close, hyper specific attention to the bus stops. You're like, I can't miss my stop. I can't miss my stop. The world is just it's like. It really is.
It's a whole new world.
And you're so used to having your mom like chauffeur you, or your dad to chauffeur you to a place where to go.
Yeah.
Everything is just so formal and there for you. There's so much structure. And then you just get thrown into this world.
Good luck.
And you're like, holy shit. It's kind of like when my cats, if I have the front door open in the summer, and one of them will go on the patio, and Max will sniff around, but Milo will look out. And he'll just go,
holy shit.
And you can just see like the senses and the
gears
fucking
turning.
he doesn't know what to do. He's fucking scared and confused and wondered and awed. It's like that's probably what you experienced.
It was wild. And then to play that game for like the amount of time I did, it was amazing. So that's one. I'll go with that. I'm gonna say cooperative Halo was also pretty high on that list. For sure. Yeah, that was some good stuff. Let's see. Shady with the hard-hitting questions.
Okay.
Adam and Jeff, do violent video games cause aggression? And equally, do non-violent video games make people less aggressive?
Okay. So I think I know where this question came from because there was this heated discussion in my chat after that one dude punched his woman, his pregnant wife or whatever, on stream and got banned in Fortnite.
Both of them are crazy. Yes.
Yes. And then there was this heated discussion about this amongst people in the stream.
Probably whether or not it was 100% the guy's fault,
Yes.
or if it was both of their faults.
Yes.
Yeah.
For those that don't know, there was a dude playing Fortnite. Obviously, they have a very abusive relationship, and it is definitely, from what I'm looking at, wasn't the first.
No, this was not the first, and won't be
probably
the last.
won't be the last time.
No.
But anyway, the wife was bickering and, I don't know, complaining about something. The young carrot top looking motherfucker.
He looked a lot like Carrot Top. It's kind of weird.
Yes, and he was like, I think that was actually the title of the stream, like Carrot Top looking guy or some shit. I'm not sure. But anyway, he just like, you could just see the rage and the impatience. He just first he grabs a piece of cardboard and throws at her or some shit.
No, she threw it at him.
She threw it at him and then he threw it back.
Basically, she came in looking for him to come out of the room for something. I don't know if it was because their daughter was being annoying and she needed some help with the kid or something. She comes in and trying to get him out, and he said, "I'll be there. Just give me 10 minutes, or I'll be right." Like there's a phrase he repeats like 38 times.
Yes.
In this video, like I'll be right out. I'll be right out. I'll be right out. I'll be right out. And she just kept bickering, and then eventually she starts throwing random objects, and then like half of a fucking cardboard box enters the frame at one point, and he keeps saying, stop it, stop it, just give me some time, just fucking, back off, stop it, like just give me some time, I'll be out. And then he eventually,
he throws the cardboard back.
He throws it back, because he said, if you keep throwing shit, I'm going to throw it back, see how you like it.
Yes.
And he totally did that shit.
And he throws it back.
He throws it back, and then she's like crying, fake crying. Fuck.
Yeah, I hate
for
that.
Like,
I hate that
for
annoying
like 7
fake cry.
seconds, and then right back to talking normally, like a toddler. Would do.
Yes.
Ironically, there's a toddler in the background crying. They're doing this shit in front of them.
That's the part that really pissed me off. Yeah.
And then he eventually loses it, gets up, hits her. I think smacks her. First.
You could hear it.
You can hear the smack.
And then she
cries
lets out
again
a godly
for about 7 seconds,
yeah.
And then like starts screaming at the stream like she's pandering to the stream, like the crying and everything, and then he's this guy's a woman beater, but doesn't separate herself from it, doesn't take the daughter and leave, keeps coming back, and then eventually gets up, and it sounds like he just started punched her in the face.
He went ham on her.
He went in on it,
yeah.
and you could see when he came back at one point, his collar had been stretched, so I don't know if like she had grabbed onto it and like stretched it and shit, but it was fucking bonkers. But they're both abusive as shit. You could totally tell that neither of them should have done that in front of the kid. Child Protective Services should take that kid out of there yesterday.
Apparently he got arrested.
That's not surprising.
Yeah.
But that video by itself would probably be enough to have them question whether or not that child should even be in the household to begin with.
Oh, it shouldn't be.
Yeah, but it was not 100% the guy. It was definitely a 50-50 street.
It was a 50-50 street, but you never hit a woman under any circumstance.
Unless she's coming at you with like a knife or something.
Yes,
shit.
of course. Then you got to do what you got to do to defend yourself. But
and also to be fair, some dudes and women, they're like the same size.
Yes. And
it's not that there aren't women out there that can legitimately beat up their significant other.
No. But I think for me anyway, even if my wife was...
You're also a lot bigger than your wife.
Yes, but I'm saying even if my wife was 6 foot.
Yeah.
And she worked out, I think as a man, I just don't put my hands on a woman, period, unless I'm forced to. I mean, if she really...
Well, absolutely.
If she was... if she smacked me, I just leave. You know, I'm mad. I get out of that position. I don't smack back. I don't hit.
No, I
nothing
agree.
like that. There's a point where you take it. But if
there
you're
are some-
backed up,
there are some people that even if the girl was coming at you and like physically like nonstop,
yes,
there are some people that will be like, you just can't never hit.
Well,
a woman.
no, I mean you have to use discretion. But I mean it when you hit a woman as a man, it should literally be the very last thing you ever do.
Yes.
I mean, your life has to be threatened. You have to be physically getting fucked up, or you're fearing for your safety in a very real way, not as like, oh, this is an excuse to hit her now.
Yeah.
It has to be like, I'm in this corner. There's no way out of this room. And even still, if you're a man and you're strong enough, you should be able to just restrain the woman, grab her, push her out of the way. Grab her and say, don't do that. Move her outside. I mean, obviously, depending on the size of your woman, and get out.
There's so many,
but
like,
I'm saying,
there's so many ifs in these situations.
Well,
it's so
and then on top of that, that woman was pregnant. So
Which
at no point, at no fucking point, you take the beating. If the woman, she would literally have to have a gun or a knife.
Yeah.
At that point, she could have the fists of Mike Tyson. And you do not hit a pregnant woman ever. I don't care. I don't give a fuck. And if it's my son or daughter in this woman's body, I might even take a stab for my child. That's literally how far I would have to. It would have to be something. I mean, you don't just get up out of frustration and hit a pregnant woman. Period. So that there's just another level to this shit.
I get it.
There's just another fucking level to it.
I get it. And I'm not saying that he shouldn't.
Yes.
But hear me out. She knew she's pregnant.
Yes. Oh,
she's gambling and using it.
Yes.
Like crazy.
Oh, yes.
Which is bad as it is.
Yes.
I'm gonna be very fucking real with you. I'm on board with you 100%, especially if she's a pregnant woman.
Yes.
But here's my problem. With this
she
shit.
instigated.
Here's my problem with the men hitting women thing in general.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Is that in a world where we are currently in an equality fucking standard, where everything has to be 50-50 split. If you're gonna have a woman abusing the social norm that men can't hit women, to antagonize and poke the bear endlessly, and sometimes even slap, hit, punch, kick him in the dick, do all this other shit. Within the back of her mind going, oh, he ain't going to hit me because I'm a woman. And if he hits me, it's all over. I'm not afraid to say, I think that's fucking bullshit.
It is bullshit.
If somebody that slapped me was a dude the same size and weight as my girlfriend, I'm going to fucking lay him on the ground. At least equal contact back. You slap me, I'm going to slap you back. You punch me in the face, I'm punching you in the face. At least once. If you're going to abuse the fact that you're a woman to antagonize a man because of that norm, but you still want to be treated equally.
So I get what you're saying. And this would be my thing. I don't agree with 50-50 rights in terms of, you know what, if you get hit, I have the right to fucking punch you back. If they're a woman. And you know
it's
what?
It's not to say I would.
No, I know. I'm just saying for me, listen, there might be people out there like, give me a fucking reason to punch this bitch. Just give me a fucking reason. You want to fucking put your hands on me, woman? You want to act like you're a man? Then you better fucking receive it like a man, right? There are people that are like that, and I get that mindset. But I think as a man that I know my strength in comparison to my wife or whoever, I just, even if her intentions are, oh motherfucker, you can't do shit, bitch, and if you do, you're going to prison, and I'm taking half your shit. So deal with it, motherfucker. And she just fucking poking the egg or poking the basket or poking the bear until the bear fucking says, all right, motherfucker. Right? And then she, and she's got a black eye. She's screaming bloody murder and the cops are there and they don't want to hear fucking words you're saying. And she's taking the kids and everything.
Which is why you don't.
But I'm saying this. It's obvious that in this position, in this type of, and in most times,
yes,
this isn't the first time that the shit happens. It's not like out of the blue, you have a normal relationship, and then all of a sudden she's going, you know what? I'm going to start fucking being abusive. And if this motherfucker does anything, that's it. And if she ever did that, so say if it was my wife, for example, I would never get to the point of me hitting her, because if the first time she ever showed that type of aggression, I'm out. I'm done.
Yeah,
I
you just wouldn't get to that point.
I just wouldn't get to that point. So his mistake as a man
was
allowing the relationship to get there and him partaking in it.
Yes.
And then on top of it, partaking while she's pregnant.
Yes.
Because he's purposely keeping himself in that environment, knowing damn well she is abusive.
Well, they already have a kid, which is also a problem for him.
Which is a problem for period. But I mean, still, it would be, as me as a man, even if, and as her as a woman, if the dude is the aggressor, and because a lot of the time it is the guy. A lot of the time, it's the dude that can be the controlling, and I know I'm using a stereotype because as we're seeing in this video, the women can do it, and women do it with those intentions.
Absolutely.
They know.
Absolutely.
This motherfucker does anything. It's just it's
an instant win. It's their word versus his.
It's their words versus his. You're the mother. You're pregnant.
That's it.
Whatever. The dude's fucked.
He's fucked.
Even if you're on camera, which this guy was, you're still fucked. You're still fucked.
You're still fucked.
You're still fucked. So, as the man, the moment that shit happens, I'm out. I'm out. Kids are not. I'm out. I'm gone.
Yes.
The fuck is this?
Because you don't want to get yourself in that situation.
No, because I also know how I am. And like what you said, if I'm sitting around and my woman is calling me every name in the book, is on my fucking ass, is punching me and throwing shit at me, and I'm saying chill out, I'll be there when I'm there, and it keeps happening, who knows? I might fucking snap and say, that's it. I'm fucking done being abused, and whap! And that's it. Your life's changed. So the best thing you can do
is remove yourself.
So gentlemen out there, do never hit a woman ever. I don't care. Even if
this isn't about morality at this point so much as it for this
specific incident.
The problem is, and that's why I have issue with it, is it's not even about morality. It's about legality. It's knowing that no matter what has happened to lead up to that point, you're fucked. So don't do it. Get yourself out of the situation, which you should do anyway.
Yes.
But that's what bothers me about this topic, is that it's rarely about some sort of moral fucking standpoint about equality and the abuse of power on a societal thing with men not being able to hit women for the exact reasons we're telling them not to hit them anyway.
Yeah.
That's what bothers me about the situation.
I see. Because
if it was an instance where that wasn't the norm, where the first response was man's fuck, get him out, then the abuse of women that use that tool in their toolkit to hold things over the men and be abusive themselves verbally, which never shows up. You can't see a fucking internal black eye.
No.
Right? But you can get away with it.
Yeah.
Right? And it's taboo for men to talk about being abused on top of that shit, physically or otherwise.
Because you look like a bitch.
Because you look like a bitch to other men.
It's like, oh, boo-hoo, is your woman call you a little punk-ass bitch?
Oh, you got raped by a woman? Tough shit. Terry Crews got raped. Motherfucker, he would literally break you in half.
Yes.
Literally.
Yes. Snap you.
So that's my problem with this whole topic. Is that for a lot of people, I'm not saying your position because I don't want to put words in your mouth, but for a lot of people, it isn't about the morality of it. It isn't on a basis of being a fucking chivalrous man. I shall not striketh a woman. If you remove the equation of the law getting in and just not and taking the woman's side 99.9% of the time. If a woman you're in a relationship and you don't know until too late that this person has an abusive tendency, and she comes at you and starts fucking hitting you with a fucking like random objects, like she's unlikely to come at you like she's a boxer and just start fucking hitting you.
Yeah.
They're gonna use items and shit around the house and whatever the fuck.
Yep.
And just start doing that shit. In my opinion, I'm a fucker up. At least to the level she's doing it.
Yeah, well.
Like, what else do you expect? Because the reason they're doing it is largely because they think they have no recourse. But this is the same reason. If you talk in a struggle with two men in society, if somebody's standing in line, they cut you in line, right? If you took the police out of the situation, a lot of dudes just they'll get aggressive. They'll start fucking swinging. Is that the right thing to do? No. But if you remove the legality out of there, it's going to happen. And if so, at that point, it becomes they assess the situation. It's if I cut in front of this guy, does he look like he can handle himself? Is he likely to beat the fuck out of me if I do this shit? Mm-hmm. And so for the women in that case, where they're poking the bear and antagonizing, using everything in their tool belt that they know that they can get away with because the man won't lay hands on them, including physically attacking the man, you remove that shit out of the equation, not very many women will be doing that shit.
No, of course not.
Because they know
they're going to get fucked up. They're going to get fucked up.
And for normal, I'm going to say normal, whether that's offensive or not, people in normal relationships, this is not a problem. You might yell at each other, but nobody on either side is going to start fucking hitting people with shit. But this exists.
Oh yeah.
And a lot of people. And that's the reasoning for it, is that it's been built up around the whole men can't do anything against women physically. The women can get away with fucking murder, almost literally. And that's it. But if a woman walked up to me for no reason and just fucking straight kicked me in the nuts for no fucking reason and starts like kicking me on the ground and shit, and I can get back up and she's still going at me, I'm fucking her up. That's plain and simple.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna get on top of her and fucking like power beat the shit out of her.
You're gonna one punch her,
but I'm gonna hit her once,
and she's gonna sleep.
And that's it.
She's gonna sleep.
And I'm just gonna walk the fuck away from that, because if you're trying to walk away and they're still coming at you because they think that they're not, they're gonna get away with it.
That's what I was saying. I was saying, listen, you try and remove yourself from the situation. If you can't, like for me personally. Even if Kayla, if I was upstairs and I said something and she just freaked out and she came and she just smacked me across the face, I would not hit her. I just wouldn't. She could probably smack me a couple times. I wouldn't hit her. I would just leave, and that would be it.
Like the guy in the bus, that video, the girl that was attacked, the bus driver. You're going to jail now.
Yeah, you're going to jail now.
Uppercut. Whap.
Yeah. I physically couldn't hit a woman unless
it would take. I say that I'd fuck her up. It would take something really bad, but I'm saying that I wouldn't if it got to that point.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna sit there and feel bad about it because it would have taken so much.
It would take a lot, and I'd have to be trapped.
But
basically.
Just from a conversational standpoint, I find the whole thing bullshit.
So the reason why we were bringing that up is
video games.
Because
are they making people violent?
Do they make people violent? I would say video games definitely. Can definitely emotionally charge you to be more aggressive. I would say for me personally, and I think everybody's mind is different, but for me personally, if I'm playing a shooting game, I don't suddenly have the urge to go and shoot guns.
No.
For me, it's if I'm in a competitive mode, then I can get aggressive. I can get worked up. It's kind of like the same thing when you go to a UFC event. There's dudes and the testosterone in the crowd is fucking pumping. I mean, people.
You get alcohol flowing.
You get alcohol. No, you don't even need alcohol.
Just
you can be sober as fuck, and you're just watching people throw down, and it stimulates, something in your brain that
gets you going.
It gets you going. It's like the adrenaline, the manly fucking testosterone pumps. So yes. Video games can definitely bring out some aggression. Listen, if I'm playing 8 hours of StarCraft and I'm in a heated thing, and I'm fucking on edge and I'm tensed up and it's crazy and words are being thrown between each other and you're fucking going, and then if my wife came down here and was like, Jeff, can you change the cat's litter? It'd be like, the fuck, I'd be in this state of aggressive. Like it wouldn't be the same result as me sitting down here chilling, searching the internet, and she comes down and says, Jeff, the cats need to change the litter box. I wouldn't be in this aggressive state of mind.
Yeah.
So yes, to a degree, video games evoke emotion. It's like when I go to the movie theater and I watch a really heartfelt movie that makes you feel good or makes you feel sad.
Yeah.
I'm more susceptible to empathy and yeah, I'm might want to give my wife a kiss, or I might be more inclined to hold hands on the way to the car because I'm just in that mood. If I go and I watch The Matrix, I might come out, and I'm just fucking, I'm in a different. So yes, video games, of course, like anything else, music, for Christ's sake. People that listen to that, they're most of them aren't just fucking reading a book, chilling. They get into an aggressive state listening to that music. It brings out. So no, video games don't make me violent, but they definitely can change how I feel in the moment.
I feel like it's less about the games and more about the competitiveness
that's attached to them.
It's attached to them.
It's the emotions that they bring, so to speak, right?
Yeah. So like playing a single player game is pretty unlikely to get you in the same state as if you're playing a competitive game, and not just a competitive shooter.
Yeah, any competitive
game.
Yeah.
It's the
Magic the Gathering.
When I was playing basketball, for years and years, was playing competitively, and I lost. I was in a bad fucking mood. I didn't want to hear about it. I didn't want to hear anything. I just wanted to fucking go and get over myself because I was a competitive person, and that was it.
And losing sucks.
And so, I think that it can certainly put people in a more aggressive state of mind. Do I think that it puts people in a state of mind that says, I need to go find a gun and start lighting some shit up? No. Do I think that that puts it in a more aggressive state of mind than any other form of media can?
No.
It's anything can put anyone in any state of mind, but the degree to which it happens can be entirely based on the tendencies the person has to begin with. And as we all know, most of the people that are going out doing these things are already
mentally ill,
a little bit on the edge to begin with, and there's something that's just putting them over the edge. But that's like a super finite amount of people, like tiny amount of people.
Yeah.
So and this has already been studied a bajillion times. The vast majority has all come up the same in regards to no, it does not make people more aggressive. And in like the same light, we said you're going and watching a feel-good movie, playing a feel-good game can have the same kind of idea or same kind of response from you. It just puts you in that kind of state of mind. So it's it has an effect. Is it a direct correlation to or a direct causation? No. Correlation,
sure.
Yes, and to the degree of correlation,
anything
can be wildly different depending on the person.
You could walk upstairs and stub your toe really fucking bad just get fucking mad.
I've gotten more angry at playing silly non-violent video games than I have at playing violent video games.
Yeah.
So it's not like it's the competitive nature. If that's the case,
the emotion. It doesn't matter if I'm shooting things, or I'm playing StarCraft. It's still the emotions is the same. It's not like I'm like fuck guns.
Yeah,
I want to shoot something. Right? It's just more of like fuck man, Jesus man, stop, fuck the madness man, jeez, fix your game, fuck. Like that's the type of shit.
That's the stuff. Yeah.
I'm not fucking losing my mind here. Just a little anger, and it's usually venting more than anything. And then an hour later, or even sometimes less. Or I have a great game the next time, I suddenly forget that I was angry 10 minutes ago.
Exactly. It's all there is. So it's basically just you're looking at, situational shit. It's definitely not a causation topic, in my opinion anyway.
My opinion too.
What the... Rob asks, do you guys have a sport in mind for your firstborn that you really want to see them excel in? And he says, please don't say American football, CTE for days.
I'm gonna leave the sport picking up to my boy.
Yes.
So I won't let him play football.
Yeah.
So if he's like,
American football,
just because it's so violent, not in terms of violent, but as hard on the body, like, you know.
Way too high of a concussion chance.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, I played baseball, so I would love to see my little boy play baseball as well.
Yeah.
Because it's something that I could really get into and
Keep him
and
off the
teach
juice.
him. Keep him off the juice. But you know, ultimately, it's up to him. I'll try and play a little bit of influence in terms of, like, you know, you want to go throw the mitts, you know, want to throw a ball and play catch. I would love to see my son get into, as I'm saying, physical, but I would love for him to get into mixed martial arts, and because I think not just for the fighting, like I'm not saying he's to go and be a UFC fighter, but I'm saying for the discipline of it, because I think it does a lot, like just discipline wise, and be able to protect yourself, and it keeps you active and it stays in shape. But I think it's more of just the discipline of it. I mean, you could say discipline for any sport, but it's in martial arts. It's very heavily on respect, and, you know, discipline and stuff. So I would love to see that, but ultimately, to answer the question, I'm gonna say baseball, but whatever he wants to do, it's, you know, it's up to him.
I'm gonna like with anything with you know, my future kid or kids, the general plan for me is to expose them to as much as I can, and then see where they tend to slot themselves in. Because kids, it's not always the case that kids will ask to go and do a bunch of stuff, but they might still really, really enjoy that thing. It's just that they wouldn't bring it up normally. So, you know, if there's opportunities to enroll them in any sport, really, give it a shot. See what happens.
Yeah.
And then if they like it, they like it. If they don't, they don't, and that's fine. But the one, fuck football, American football, big no. I wouldn't even be particularly thrilled as a Canadian even to get him into hockey because it's just it's not actually, as bad.
It's almost as bad,
but it's bad.
Yeah. And kids are getting concussions like
early on.
It just fucks them.
Yeah. So like my cousin, for example, university level, got cleaned by some grown ass man because in university they people who never make the NHL and they stick around, they're like 32 years old, they're 240 pounds, and they're out there fucking killing kids.
Yep.
And it happened to my cousin, and he had long term. He still has symptoms from this concussion. So so I wouldn't even be happy with that. But I'll expose to you know all I can. You know, obviously basketball because that's what I grew up with. Golf, you know, soccer, you know, things like that, and just see what they like. Yeah. See what they're and maybe they're attached to none of the shit.
Yeah.
But exposure being the way to go.
But what happens if the little boy is like, Daddy, but I want to be in ballet?
Well, then let them be in fucking ballet.
I'm saying, nah, son. It's no ballet for you.
You want to be in ballet? I'll put you. Arnold Schwarzenegger did ballet.
I'm gonna say no, son. No ballet for you. I'm sorry.
I'm down.
Daddy's not paying for ballet.
They get interested in it, give them whatever they want. The most important thing is to find, if they find something they're super passionate about, let them fucking do the thing.
Yeah.
Just let them do the fucking thing.
Let them do it.
Because not everyone finds something that they get to be super fucking passionate about. So if they find it, encourage it. Let them do the shit. Don't be the guy who tries to live vicariously through their fucking child.
No.
And force them to do certain things.
Well, my son will be forced to play video games, and he will learn. He will
Strap
learn
down.
the way. I want to be that dad, the cool dad, that the boy he brings his friends over, and his friends are like, "Oh my God, look at all the games! Can we go over Jeff's house? Like, oh, your dad's so cool. Let's just play all the video games, and he orders us pizza, and we get to stay up till midnight and watch 18 rated R movies.
Dad.
I'm gonna be the fucking cool dad, dude." It's like, you're going to watch all the Star Wars in one sitting, and if you fall asleep,
I'm waking you up.
I'm waking you up,
Get a
bitch.
spray bottle.
That's going to be me. All right, one more.
Winston asks, has there ever been a talent or an art form that you have admired but never could do, like dancing, painting, etc.?
Say that one more time.
Has there ever been an art form or talent that you have admired but have never been able to do yourself? And then he gives the examples of dancing, painting, etc.
I'll go with no. I can't really think of much. I mean, I always wanted to play an instrument really well, but I don't know if that counts.
Yeah, that's a talent
Okay.
or
Well,
something.
yeah. That's probably the only thing I can think of. It's not like I've ever wanted to be an artist or wish I could draw better. I have no passion in that at all. I'm not a terrible singer. I'm not a professional, but I can hold a tune, so that's fine. I think definitely would be the instrument, being able to just fucking kill it on the piano or kill it on a guitar, and just be like really fucking good at it. Just like fucking rip a new one, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just at will.
It's not like you couldn't.
I know I
It's
could
just that you
learn,
didn't
but I
practice
just didn't.
it.
Yeah, I just didn't.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I played a few instruments. I was, for the amount of time I put into them, I was quite good. So I don't think I'll say that, because all the difference was I just didn't keep at it. Like, it wasn't, I didn't take it on as something, but something that I would categorically never be able to do, no matter how much I practiced. I wouldn't be able to sing. It's just not going to happen. My register is this fucking far. If this was like the 50s, and I was in, cocktail singer, I could do that.
You'd
Frank Sinatra.
You'd Frank Sinatra the shit.
Exactly.
You'd been hella famous back
Frank
then.
Sinatra couldn't sing to save his fucking life, but he could talk in a really interesting tone. But that's not the case anymore. So that's something that I've always admired, is people who can sing really well. And that's been something there's just never in a million years would I be able to do that shit. We should have mentioned this in the beginning, but I'll mention it at the end. People, I don't know how many people have noticed on Patreon that we had posted the first sets for the StarCraft casts. We have the stuff up for normal games, a post for normal games, a post for NovaWar Says, and a post for the Hit Me Up With That Noise. If you are in any of the tiers that are applicable to that, then make sure, if you have replays or noise or something that you want to see, make sure you go to those posts. It's explained how to do it. If it's a replay, you upload it to MediaFire. You link the MediaFire link in a comment on that post. And then it's there, and that's it. That's all there is.
It's really that easy.
And if it's a Hit Me Up With That Noise, you just describe it in a comment, press go, and you're done. I just don't think a lot of people saw that it popped up, whether they weren't getting notifications from Patreon or not, or they didn't.
Well, we're about
notice it.
to record some StarCraft, so in the StarCraft cast, we'll let people know how they can participate, because let's be real, only a select few of you guys actually listen and watch the podcast, and even a smaller amount will actually listen as long as it takes for us to explain this now. So when we record this When She's Fails, we'll talk about it, and then we'll go from there. So hopefully, this time next week we'll have a bunch of casts. Like, we have When She's Fails ready to go. And we're gonna record that. But as for like normal games, NovaWar Says, that's gonna take another week, because we don't have any games. We don't have any games. So if you're watching the podcast now or listening to it on YouTube or iTunes or wherever, go to the Patreon if you're a Patreon supporter, and if you're not, well, what the hell are you doing? All right, go onto the Patreon. I think we're dropping on the Patreon.
Well, that's just because we lost two of like really big. It wasn't we lost a bunch of people.
Oh, okay, just a couple of
lost a couple of the people that are giving a huge amount of money.
Well, they've given enough.
It's
now time for you guys to. I think it's $1. I think it's $1
for When She's Fails, but it's $5 for a regular replay.
Okay, well, there you go. And you might even be able to just get straight up cast if there's barely any replays to be cast.
Then your odds
are pretty much.
I'm telling you, your odds are fantastic.
They're
right now.
almost guaranteed.
Almost guaranteed odds.
So go and play some StarCraft games. Make them interesting. Don't just upload. Don't play one game and then upload it, and then play another game and then upload another one. Play a few, and then upload your best. And then if you're playing more, and you have one that's even better, and we haven't gotten to your other one, remove that link and upload the new one and replace it, because you can't put a whole bunch of replays. It's one per month. So just make sure in each category, just make sure that you're doing the best one you can, because it'd be a shame to cast your shitty one when you've played a better one. All right? So go and do it. We're starting the StarCraft stuff. You guys are going to see it real soon. And that's it.
Yeah. Just wanted to throw that in there. I meant to mention that at the beginning, but I forgot.
Yeah, it happens.
So for those of you that got all the way to the end, bless you. Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to be it for this Technical Alpha podcast. Hopefully you enjoyed it. It was another passionate. The passion has been for like the last 5 podcasts.
There's been a lot of passion.
We've been hitting some passionate topics. It's getting real.
You know,
it's getting real.
We're bringing in the heat.
We're screaming into microphones. Somebody's listening. Thank God we compressed the shit out of this. Otherwise, people would be dead. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for listening. As always, tell somebody about the Technical Alpha podcast if you want to see this show do a bit better. And until we see you guys next week, have a good one. Peace.